Man, did I butcher that intro, man. I was like, it's over before it's even started. My apologies. I'm only on my second cup of coffee, and my first one was pretty small, so I haven't quite woken up yet. But anyways, good morning or afternoon if you're Pacific, East Coast, or I guess you're kind of almost dusk overseas, the UK. But for the Americans, happy Thanksgiving's Day, or as the vegans call it, what do they call it? What is it? They call it Meliagris Genocide. Man, did I butcher that intro? Let me turn that off. Yeah, Meliagris Genocide Day is what the vegans call it. Matter of fact, I found this picture just a little while ago that was pretty funny of a. If you asked a turkey like to come over for Thanksgiving dinner, what it would look like. I was like, yeah, what? Say what? No, I'm not coming over for dinner. But thanks you for the invite. But like I said, I don't really celebrate much holidays. I got nothing going on today. It's my only day off, so I apologize for having it on Thanksgiving. But there's a lot of people that don't kind of do the holidays that much, and maybe they want to watch something or listen to something because this is mostly going to be audio rather than visual. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I do have some visual stuff that I want to show. But I'm not going to go on camera because it's my day off, and I'm not getting dressed today. Just not going to do it, Sorry. I am watching the live chat, so hi everybody out there. It looks like we got a Cheshire, we got a Claire, we got a One-Work Angel, we got a Samus. We got a lot of people. Anyways, I'm going to dive into it so I don't waste a lot of your time. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because just recently there's obviously been a lot of talk about Kay Baxter's video. Cheshire did a brilliant stream on it. Yeah, don't tell her I said that or use that word because that means her 62 IQ went up a point, and we can't have that. So 62 is the limit, the maximum. So, but her video was amazing. If you want to go check it out, it's in the video description. Golden Unicorn did an absolutely fantastic breakdown as well. That is in the video description. And Erin from ECKPeopleSuck also did a very amazing breakdown. And guess what? All three of them said the same thing I'm about to say, give or take. I'm not parroting them. My opinion is independent of all three of them. Even though I care about all three of them immensely, I think they're all amazing people, and I do support all three of them. So I do give my support to those three people. It's not a lot different, except it's from my perspective. Why? Because I'm the main victim in all this. Now, I'm not saying there's not other victims. No question about it. There have been many victims by these. I hate to say the group over there, but I mean the people that were in that video. I will say that the people that were in that video have victimized more than just me. There's obviously been Cheshire. There's been Tina. There's been Unveiling the Mask, which aka Kim. There has been who else? I mean, Manya has been victimized. I would even say Mr. Serious. I mean, there's been a lot of people. I mean, I can't name them all, so I apologize if I miss somebody. Erin, obviously, but because of that video and things prior to it, people being accused of things, which we all know wasn't the case. I've known all along was bullshit. Why do you think I was planning to sue like a year ago? Because I knew it was BS. I knew a lot of that stuff was just being made up in order to cause contention by dishonest agents. And people that ran with it were committing slander or libel, which is both a form of defamation. And contrary to a quote-unquote journalist's understanding of slander and libel, because she got it fundamentally wrong. Libel is what is written and slander is what is spoken, but both of them are forms of defamation. And there are criteria for what is called defamation per se or defamation pro quod. And I have defamation per se, which means that people have defamed me. I don't have to prove any really damages. I don't have to make an argument other than what was said was false. And I believe it was malicious in nature. And obviously, there's some legal things of what defamation involves. But I mean, I meet all the criteria for what they have done to me by far. There's no question about that. If not, I wouldn't have sued, right? But I'm going to dive into this because Kay had asked in her video to go back and look at the original conversations between her and I on Twitter. Because I've never talked to the woman face to face or in a hangout that I'm aware of. May have, but as far as I know, I have not. But I have corresponded with her on Twitter, and her recollection is quite different than mine. So I'm going to do this in kind of two different ways. One, I'm going to give you objective facts, which you can look at, and objective facts aren't really open to subjectivity. They are what they are. They are facts. They are things that are not going to be debatable. Then there is a subjective evaluation of certain things. Like my opinion of a person being a liar, of course, is a subjective evaluation. What they said is an objective fact. You guys see the difference. And I think that a lot of people, especially the content creators over there, do not understand the distinction between a subjective opinion and an objective fact. Now, there are overlap, absolutely. But if I say that I think you're a piece of shit, I don't have to give you evidence for that. Why? Because I'm just giving you my personal self-reflection on it, an autobiographical statement or self-reflective position of my mental state that I think you are a piece of shit. Now, if people ask me why and I want to convince them, then sure, I have an onus to give them some reason for that. I think so, of course. But doesn't mean I always have to. If I don't want to bother with it, then no, I'm not going to be like, I don't have to convince you of anything. This is my position. You want to know my position? That's my position. But if I say that you've committed a crime, yeah, I need a little more evidence than that. If I say that 1 + 1 = 3, I need a little more evidence than that, right? Because those are not just subjective things. Those are objective statements that something has been done, that you have transgressed a law or you have broken mathematical principles, right? And those are objective things which can be evaluated. Now, there is some objectivity when it comes to breaking the law. That's why we have judges and adjudication. I understand that. But the fact would be, here's what the law says, and then the subjectivity would be, obviously, was there a transgression? And even in some cases, I think one may make an argument that it's objectively the case that you have transgressed, a law or something like that. If you kill somebody, and obviously, you have the body, the habeas corpus, the mens rea, you have all the factors involved in homicide or murder, and the guy confesses, then obviously it's at that point not even a subjective evaluation. It's objective that this person committed the crime. But like I said, I'm gonna tell you when I am being objective, and I'm gonna tell you when I'm being subjective. And I want you guys to help evaluate this, right? And I want you guys to let me know if I'm not being objective or I'm being too subjective or whatever. And if you start agreeing with me, I'm hoping that maybe you would consider helping my GoFundMe, because legal costs are expensive. But I have gone back to work almost full time to help pay for this, because this is how strongly I believe in this lawsuit. I have a great case, but it's going to take help, and I've been told people are willing to help, and I've had already some great help already, and I thanked every single one of them. If you've donated, I thank you. I've individually thanked every single one. If I missed somebody, I apologize, but let me know. But let's kind of dive into this real quick. All right, so let me click there. Okay, so the first thing she said when okay, there's a lot to go over here, and give you a too long didn't read, because I want people to actually go watch Cheshire's video. I'm not going to play Cheshire's video, but I do want people to go watch it after this. Not right now, because you're listening to me, but afterwards. And Kay has this really odd take on a lot of things. I don't know where she's getting her information from. Oh, I kind of do, but I don't know why she has such a skewed view. I'm just going to say it. We're the good guys here. Straight up. We are the good guys. Cheshire is a good person. We don't know whether she's a guy or girl. She's never defined herself, but we're going to say she's a good person, or he's a good person. I don't know, whatever Cheshire wants to go by now. But we are the good people. We are trying to put out facts. We have always been trying to put out facts. We're not the people going around hacking things. We're not the people going around threatening people. And anybody who says otherwise is lying, and has been demonstrated numerous times. So Kay had said, okay, well, for example, she said, if Cheshire wants to come into the live chat, as long as she doesn't talk to me the way she's talked to me on Twitter, is what she said, paraphrased. Well, fun fact, I don't think there's any time where Cheshire has ever talked to Kay on Twitter. I couldn't find anything. She couldn't find anything, but I could find when I talked to her. I did a search, and I know exactly when approximately it was. And so I did exactly what she said when she said, if you want to look how, what I said to Steve, or Steve demanding this or that, go look at her first interaction. I'm like, okay, let's go do that. Oh, Cheshire just wants to go by Goblin, which is, I guess, gender neutral. Yeah. I keep forgetting that. I don't know. I think she takes any pronoun at this point. So Cheshire just put her video on the live chat, and it's actually, like I said, in the video description. So by all means. All right, so let me read these out. This is going back to July 18th of this year. And I'm going to, and hopefully you guys can see that. I'm looking on the outside. I have my little other laptop monitor open, and yes, I can read that. And so the first thing I think I've ever said to that woman is this. And again, I could be wrong. I don't believe that I am, but this was the first time I saw her post something. She says, 1 out of 2, I have a live stream hangover. I have made last night's stream private for now. Just to be clear, I did not ask for Snat to come on that stream. She showed up and asked to come on. I feel it's best to let people just talk like Little Miss Noble. And you know what? I don't doubt her on that. I really don't. And which was really odd, because she was telling Cheshire that we or other people were saying that somehow we believe that Kay was, behind the scenes with Nat trying to coordinate all this kind of stuff to have that on stream. And I don't believe that for a second. I've never believed that. So I don't know where she came up with that from. Cheshire's never said anything like that to me. So I don't think she believed anything like that. So where in the world did Kay get this strange, bizarre concept of reality that we thought that she was like in cahoots with Nat? Oh, wait, never. Never did we put that in a video. Never did we put that on Twitter. Never have I stated anything like that. So, I mean, maybe at some point here I can get Cheshire in here after I'm done with this to give me at least an idea where she may have gotten that from. And then 2 out of 2, I did ask many times to clarify what she was saying. I felt like, no offense, Waxy, that Waxy was muddying the water a bit. I tried hard to be fair to everyone. I feel this is why people feel they can come on my stream. Well, okay, so the Too Long Didn't Read version, and I'm sure none of you are in that category where you don't know what's going on, but Kay had a conversation with Nat and KD and a few other people, and there were gross allegations being levied, which, of course, I knew were false. Matter of fact, not only did I know they're false, I actually have evidence that they're false. I have not just, my personal opinion. I have objective exculpatory evidence that what was going on was bullshit. Right. And by the way, I don't have to use that in court. Do I plan to? Yeah. But do I have to? No. It's the onus is upon a person making these allegations. Right. If not, it's slanderous. Now, do I have a reason to go after Critical K for slander? No, not really. But I do think publicly she should be held accountable because she did slander. And I want, again, it's going to be my subjective opinion, but I'm going to play you the video portion of that hangout with the live chat. Yes, with the live chat, which no longer is there because it took away a lot of the context. And I think that Kay used that to perform what's called historical revisionism. So I said, I don't know who this was to. This was deleted and I don't care. I said to do all that, if you can, if somebody makes allegation, you ask for evidence, support those allegations, which is something that Cheshire and I have been saying for how long? You make an allegation, you just provide reasons. You don't have to provide like concrete evidence as far as like absolute proof, but give reasons, give justifications. That's what's asked for when you're asked for evidence in that sense of the word. What people are asking it for is, what is your justification for your belief, right? Based upon evidentialism would be the position where you shouldn't really have a belief unless you have good reason to have that belief or justification for that belief. Now, I'm not a strict evidentialist. I'm what's called more of a moderate evidentialist, but I do think that evidentialism has a value to it, right? You don't want to believe things without evidence or reasons, at least. Now, there are times to believe things without evidence and reason, but we're not going to get into that because it completely confuse people. But, if we go watch my videos on proper basic beliefs and foundationalism. But Kay goes, I did ask many times. Okay, well, we're gonna see that. That wasn't necessarily the case when it came to Katie. Right? She's stuck on, I did ask Waxy. Well, yeah, you did. You didn't try very hard, but you certainly didn't with Katie. And that's the part that I'm going to play to show that she was agreeing with Waxy by tentatively agreeing with Katie. I'm not even going to say tentatively. It was pretty implicit, to say the least. And maybe 1 or 2 cases even explicit. So I said, apparently not. And by the way, I want you to note this. She was saying that we were mean to her and people were harassing her, and our first conversation we had with her, blah, blah, blah. This is my first conversation with her. I said, apparently not strong enough, because if you ask for evidence that is not provided, you tell the person they cannot make unsubstantiated allegations, because all you're doing is giving them a platform, but they are, what was I supposed to be? They're bitching you on, I think. Is that right? I was on, by the way, if you notice, I was in Chelsea, Massachusetts when that tweet was there, and that was on my Android, my Twitter, my Nexus. So I was out of the state. I was on vacation when this was going on. Have you ever seen those asterisk? I'm on my mobile, right? Because I don't go back and fix it. Okay, so I just let her know that, I don't think you gave enough pushback, but that's my opinion. I admit that. I said, you fed into drama for views and clicks. That's all you did. Hashtag months later, I absolutely believe that. That's a given. I mean, Kay actually wrote a tweet to Twitter going, my view count hasn't changed. Oh, good grief. Well, yeah, view counts don't change much after, 4 months. And most people have already seen it. And I think by now, the people that are relevant know that it was bullshit. And I say once again, I certainly don't remember you ever asking me to come on to get my side or the facts or show all the evidence that I have in regards to any of this. I've always had a standing thing. People want to interview me, I will try to come on. T-Spiracy, I was on her channel. Roadhog, I was on his channel. I was on James's channel not too long ago, which was different James. James is tired. I've been on a lot of channels. I didn't know Kay at this point. I didn't know her from a hill of beans. Never spoke to the woman. And as she had asked me, hey, Steve, do you want to come on to talk about this? I probably would have. But I never got an invite. And there were people like, oh, well, you could have come on live with them. I'm not going to come in live with I'm going to say, quote, harasser, because I'm suing her. Why would I come into a live chat with somebody who has defamed me, that has lied about me, that has slandered about me, that has had this narrative for how long that we know now is bullshit, and then I'm suing? That's just silly. I'm not going to come on a panel like that, right? So... but I was happy to do maybe a one-on-one thing with her. And then I don't know who that was from, because, again, I have a lot of people blocked and I don't care. But Golden Unicorn responds, it's like, why is it Steve's responsibility to stop someone random on the internet to cook up stories about him? Yeah, it's not my responsibility. And I've spent years defending myself against, how many bullshit allegations. Has any of them ever become true? No. Have I ever been arrested? No. Have I been in an investigation? No. Have I ever had any problem with the law? No. I wonder why. Because I've never broken any laws, contrary to how many allegations going back 2 years from Kyle. I mean, Kyle started all of it, and then Katie jumped on that bandwagon, and so did Goddess Engineer and Caitlin Chloe and Jimmy Snow. They all jumped on that bandwagon. Oh, Steve committed fraud. Okay. Yeah, that didn't fare very well for them, and then they realized they were lied to and gave a shit-ass apology. But this is the same thing. People were being lied to, and they just couldn't figure it out. And then if you go a little bit further down here, so I got a little frog in my throat. Meek says, and she's been messaging me on this, by the way, and I've been hopefully alleviating her positions because she's been defending Kay. And I hopefully after this, Meek will realize that Kay was wrong. But Meek says, I'm sorry, but I've watched heaps of Kay's lives, and I think she's a very fair and unbiased person, which you're allowed to that opinion. Oh, great. Okay. Who is happy to hear anyone's side? Not quite true, though, I don't think, because she certainly wasn't happy to hear Cheshire's side, because as soon as Cheshire came in there, she was just snide as shit to her. It was pretty bad. I can't be the only one that had noticed that, and there are people that point that out, that Kay treated Cheshire extremely poorly. I mean, they even rewrote history and said, "Oh, she came in hot and heavy." No, she didn't, not at all. We'll get into that. That she demanded I take the video down. No, she didn't. I called Kay straight out on that one. If you could provide me evidence that Cheshire demanded when she came into her live chat that she demanded that video come down, I will accept that evidence, review it, and if I find that it is reasonable, I will absolutely give an apology to KayOpinionated. However, until that happens, I think she absolutely lied on that. And just, basically tried to paint a picture that wasn't the case, because it is objective whether those things were said. Now, it's subjective how you evaluate it, but there has to be something objective by which Cheshire said to be evaluated. What did Cheshire say that was even objective that she wanted the video come down? Matter of fact, I'm not going to recall her exact words, but there was something along the lines of, if you want to do that, if giving you suggestions, blah, 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 right? It was suggestive. And I don't think that Kay understood that, but I said, yeah, I don't support that kind of platform to be on. Let me continue. She says she's not a gatekeeper. That's on them if they aren't telling the truth, not Kay. Well, to a point. Look, I mean, I've always said you're not responsible for what somebody says on your platform as far as their opinion, right? I mean, people are allowed to have opinions. Opinions are sacred, right? If somebody wants to they say the Earth is flat, I'm not responsible for them saying the Earth is flat. But if they're going to accuse people of crimes, yeah, I have a little bit of onus responsibility on that. If not, I'm just giving a person free reign to preach falsities. And again, maybe Kay hasn't been around long enough or understand how the internet works, as Cheshire pointed out to her, because I don't think she does. You do have some responsibility as a content creator, as a channel, when you have somebody on when they say things that are just abysmal. If somebody, even YouTube has that. If somebody comes on my channel and does something against terms of service, as the channel host, I'm responsible for that. So I think Kay needs to differentiate between what you have responsibility for and what you don't. And again, my saying that you're not responsible for what somebody says on your channel is not an absolute statement. And I don't think that she understands context of that. Context is important. I think a lot of people are just black and white thinkers. It's either this or that, and they don't understand nuance. So when we say things you're not responsible, we are specifically talking about their opinion. If anybody disagrees with that, I'd like to know their side on that. But yeah, I can't imagine anybody not saying, oh, look, it's perfectly fine for somebody to come on your channel and spew bullshit and then not give any pushback on it. I mean, obviously, if I have somebody on my channel that I don't agree with, I'm going to give some pushback. I mean, younger creationists, flat earthers, things of that nature. Yeah, I'm not having them on to platform them. I'm not giving them a mouthpiece. And that's what Kay did. I have it direct. Oh, by the way, if you wanted me to read something, please highlight by going at me, because I am looking to the side to see that. The intrigue feline says, the danger they present, repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth. Yes, that is very much the case, intrigue feline. That's what they try to do. It's actually based upon an old proverb called 3 Men and a Tiger, if you're familiar with that. 3 Men and a Tiger basically is a Chinese situation where this person goes away, comes back about some story about a tiger being let loose in the city, and it was not the truth, but it came so much ingrained in the town's culture that it became a fact. I don't remember the exact details. You can go look it up. It's called 3 Men and a Tiger. And I said, yeah, I don't support that kind of platform, to be honest with you. That allows people to spew whatever narrative they want without pushback, and that's not my kind of channel. Okay, I think I'm pretty civil right now still. Right? Am I not being civil here? And then I say, that's one of the reasons why Katie and I never got along, because I gave her pushback during streams where she said some stuff on non sequitur that I did not agree with, and she did not like that. And I can't say we never got along. I mean, obviously, initially, I didn't know anything about her, and it was fine. I wasn't really a fan of how she did her stories and stuff like that on non sequitur. There's a couple of articles that she wrote that I thought were pretty good, when she was on Pathos, and there's some that were not. But I didn't know her very well. But after I started giving her pushback, then was the problem. And people spotted that out long before I did. As a matter of fact, I have to give props to Tina. She pointed that out long before I even recognized it, that when I did not just praise her for her arguing that anti-vaxxers are terrorists, the demeanor changed quite a lot, right? But Meek says, well, that's good for you. Some people don't. I don't mind a healthy debate, and I don't like to argue. Kay did push back. You should have seen her live with Little Miss Noble. Go have a watch. Brownie points. Well, I'm going to go watch her talk to Katie. We're going to watch the part of that video, Meek. And there was no pushback. What Katie was saying, it was full-on acceptance. And I don't know if Meek has seen that portion of the video yet. It's only about 10 minutes that I'm going to play, but we're going to get to it. And Go to Unicorn says, can you link it, please? And of course, there was no response there. Okay, so that was that thread. That was July 18th. Going on. Okay, so she said none of this was planned, which, again, I believe that from her end. Do I believe it from Nat or Katie? Not so much. But I do believe Kay didn't plan that. Okay, so if you want my opinion, that is my opinion. I have never believed that Kay planned that. Ever. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know any of these people were coming to my stream. Again, I believe that. No one was asked to come in advance. I believe that as well. I would have gladly let you come on mic had you been there, which of course I would not have done because I am the victim here, Kay. I'm not going to be in a hangout with somebody who I am the victim of, that I am suing, that has slandered me, and that has claimed that I have falsely harassed them, sexually harassed, or sexual harassment. Then there was, just made uncomfortable, falsely accused of committing crimes involving all kind of heinous things. You think I'm going to go in a room with somebody like that? Are you kidding me? I think people feel comfortable with me because I don't let anybody attack them. Well, I kind of beg to differ, because we're going to watch that video portion where you were just lapping it up, and so was the live chat, and there was no pushback on any of that. This is why I think that you wanted the live chat deleted, because the live chat was very telling. And I said I would have no desire to come on with any of the people. I want nothing to do with those people. I don't. I haven't talked to Katie since 2019. I haven't sent her anything since 2019. The last time I sent her anything, I think I tagged her on Instagram around maybe October. And then before that, it was November 22nd on Twitter, 2019. And the last, basically, I said, thing I've ever said to her was, I'm not going private. Because she's like, if you want to continue this conversation, let's do it in DMs. I'm like, oh, hell no. I ain't going to DM with you after your allegations. You accused me of things in public. I want to vindicate it in public. And she wasn't going to have that. That's the last time I've ever sent that woman anything, was 2019. So any allegations of any harassment or anything like that, completely false. And I can prove it. Obviously, people don't realize these things are remembered. Okay, you can get all the data server side from Twitter and Instagram, so I can prove that. That's not even an issue. And this person, Lisa, says, in my opinion, I think all this should be taken offline, and as there's truly investigations, which actually there was, then let law enforcement, the people truly involved and their legal teams handle it. I think that was fine, but that was not what happened. And these allegations were made public when there was no investigation on those allegations for any of the people like myself involved that were. I don't know all the key players, but I have a damn good idea, right? But I can't prove it. That's why I don't make those allegations, because it would just be, false allegations if it wasn't the case. And I have no way to verify that. So I'm not going to throw it out there who I think all the people involved. But I do know who wasn't involved. Me. That I know for an absolute surety. And I'm highly 99.99999% confident that Cheshire wasn't either. Right? But I can't be in her mind. But I mean, for all practical purposes, I know Cheshire didn't do shit. Nor Erin, nor Tina. All right? And then she says, in my the entire thing is getting muddled with everyone going on these channels and sharing, quote, evidence on social media. Well, what evidence were they showing? I didn't see any evidence. What evidence are you referring to? But whatever. I mean, yeah, she has them in scare quotes, so maybe she realized that too. Because, of course, there wasn't any evidence. Go figure. In my opinion, the general public has no right to demand any proof from either side. Nah, that's not true. They only believe people. They only people should have that info is law enforcement, legal teams, and anyone named as a victim, which is me, or anyone suspected in doing illegal acts, threats, doxing, harassment. Again, I was accused of those things. So I think the public does have a right when people are talking about this in public, and not so much a right, but first of all, yeah, you can ask whatever you want. It doesn't mean you're going to get it. And I do agree that you're not having any formal kind of reason to have that information. But if it's being played out in public by people having these false allegations, and there might be an expectation to give them something, give them some evidence. And I disagree. If someone makes accusations in public, they should address in public, and the evidence should be made public. Yeah, I stand by that. Now, I understand a lot of times it can't. Now, there was an investigation. From what I understand, it really didn't go anywhere, but it did exonerate the people that were supposedly the ones that were being talked about in this video. As far as I know, not a single person was mentioned had anything that law enforcement found anything on. There's only one person that I'm aware of that they found anything on, and that was Nat, who I've never talked to in my entire life. Now, I know Salsi said, well, there's two other people involved. If there are, I don't know who they are, but I could, if I had to place money on it, I would, but I'm not going to throw out names on that, because if I'm wrong, then I'm just going to be muddying the water, and I don't want to do that. But could I guess? I can guess on one of them for damn sure. The other ones are 50-50, but it certainly wasn't anybody that I associate with or have anything to do with. So, yeah, that's bullshit. The only ones, like I said, as far as the investigation that I'm aware of, led anywhere was Nat. That's it. Now, do I think that other people maybe are being side-eyed looked at? Yep. Yep, I do. Especially people making false allegations, right? So I'm not going to name any names, but, think about who's making false allegations and go from there. All right. So let me go back, because I don't think I said anything else in here. Well, I'll give you this one. From what I gathered, some are assuming that Nat's silence around the questions about you is that you are the ringleader, and that Tina, Little Miss Noble, Dustin, and others were doing your dirty work in order to get back to Katie Joy. Katie Joy stated you in the live, they had proof that it was your IP, which is bullshit. We know that's bullshit. And matter of fact, I don't even know who this Dustin's person is. I have never spoken to Dustin. I didn't even know who Little Miss Noble was until after some legal actions were going on her. No idea who she even was. during the whole Toddy case. I don't know who these people were. I wasn't involved in that. How the hell would I know Nat? She lives in the UK. I don't. I have no connection to her whatsoever. Never spoken to her. Never talked to her. Nothing. And people. And by the way, the legal team can have all my social media. They can anything they want. I don't care. I know I never talked to her. She knows I never talked to her. But they were falsely accusing me, saying that I was, and I was threatening her. Okay, where's the evidence for that? It's not my onus to give exculpatory evidence, which I can and I will, because again, I want to prove malice, because I think what Katie was saying was malicious. Not so much Kay. I think she was duped, and I think she was just lacks critical thinking skills. But I'm not going to go out right now to say that Kay was malicious. But I'm going to be tentatively conservative on that opinion. The jury's still out on that one, but we'll see. All right, let's go back to, again, my first conversations with her. She says to me, okay, I even said, first of all, I'm on vacation. Second of all, I'll never go on a panel with any of those people besides Carla. Carla Hanny, or what was her last name? Hanny, I think. She's been very civil. She's been very, very objective, I think. I'll be happy to go on a panel with her. I am saying she's never asked me ever at any time, right? She certainly could have, right? Before that stream, because this has been talked about for a while, she could have invited me on. I could have talked about it. Somebody had asked, wow, is this still going on? Why does anybody care? Because people were accused of crimes. That's why they care. You don't think it's a problem when people are accused of crimes and they have gone to legal matters, that it's in court because of statements being made that slandered and defame people? You don't think that it's important? Well, that's why we care. And if you don't care, then why the hell are you over here? Why would you want to listen to something about what you don't care? I think a lot of people do care because they realize if it can happen to us, it can happen to them. And in a lot of cases, it has. A lot of people also were accused of things that many of them, I don't even really know much about them. There's certain people that I just have never had any interactions with. You know, like Charlotte on the web. I've never talked to her in my life. I know nothing about Charlotte on the web. I have no opinion on her whatsoever. Why? Because I don't watch any of her stuff. I think I've watched a couple clips here and there, but I don't know anything about her, nor do I care. Right? So there's a lot of people on that side of that community I just don't interact with. And Kay says, well, and why keep saying that when you say you won it anyways? Again, is this a conceptualization problem with Kay? Is she have a hard time understanding that I wouldn't go on the panel with any of those people, but I would go one-on-one with her, right? If she invited me on to talk to me like an adult, just like T-Spiracy did, or like Roadhog did, I would go on there as an adult and have a civil conversation. But that never happened. And I said, I did invite her on my channel at one time too, around this time, to say, look, you want to come on my channel? I'll have a civil conversation with you. She wouldn't do it. I actually probably would have before, but no offense, your style, and listen to my tonage. Did I come across as aggressive? And I can be aggressive on Twitter. I admit this. There's Twitter Steve. I know this. And 95% of the time, I'm not really upset. It's for effect, right? That's it. That's it. It's, it just let people know, hey, look, there's a little more to it, but I don't have these raging emotions. I'm not sitting there tap, tap, tap on my keyboard, okay? People know me by now. I'm pretty even keel when it comes to that. When I get upset, people do know it. And of course, I'm human. Of course I do. But I'm not emotionally driven. I'm led by facts and evidence. I'm not led by emotional or visceral reactions, or at least I try not to be. Right? Hey, Milwaukee Atheist, how you doing, man? How you been? Nice to see you. And so I want you guys to evaluate this particular tone, right? And I hate tone policing, but give me a feedback on this one. I said, I actually probably would have before, but no offense, your style of moderation is just not my style. I ask probative questions, and I do not allow people to make false allegations on my platform. I even put out a tweet saying if anyone wants to interview me, they can. Do you guys not remember that? Do I sound like I'm harassing her? Do I sound like evil Steve, Twitter Steve? Do I sound like I am not being respectful of her? Again, that is subjective. I admit that. But those are my objective words. Again, objective versus subjective. What is objective is written right there. Subjective is how you evaluate it. But I did say, but no offense, I wasn't trying to offend her. So what do you guys think? I mean, so far, do I appear to be in any way harassing her like she's claimed? Oh, they were harassing me for the last 4 months. Bullshit. Well, absolute bullshit. She says, I have never followed your Twitter, as you know. Oh, okay. Okay. Does that mean you can't reach out to somebody that you're talking about? Especially when you know for months people have been talking about this. And I can't believe for a second Kay wasn't talking about this behind the scenes. And this is why I asked her explicitly, which she never got back to me on, did you ever believe that I was involved in any of this stuff? Did you ever believe that I committed crimes? Not do you, but did you? Because there's a huge difference there. And it goes into her mindset. Because if she answers that she didn't, and she ever did tell somebody that she did, and they come out with that, then she'd be demonstrated as a liar. And if she says, well, yeah, I did believe that, then yeah, then it vindicates everything we've been saying about, you know, why we calling her out, because she had these allegations on her channel and she didn't push back on them with Katie, and she agreed with them, which I will show. So either way, I think she's damned if she's due and she's damned if she doesn't, if she answers that question. And I don't think she's going to. She has not. But again, she could answer no, I never believed that. And maybe nobody has any evidence that she did. And she might, you know, might die out there. Do I believe her on that? Probably not. You know, but, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll see where the evidence leads. Going to Unicorn says, yeah, I was attacked by Katie in the live stream. As far as you know, no one stopped Katie from spewing all the BS, and she spewed about me without any proof, especially when I wasn't there to defend myself. But oh well. Yep, same thing. Same thing. Wasn't just me. There's other people that were named. All right, but that didn't really have any about Kay, so... All right, so let's go back. Again, this is the first interactions I had with Kay. I've asked Waxley to come on my channel, clear it up, and she's declined, and she will do it on her channel. Yeah, well, that never happened. But what about Katie? What about Katie? She openly made those allegations. Here's my response to her. So Kay says, and most never saw the horrible trolls were putting up about killing children. Yeah, I know nothing about that stuff. I just saw what people were writing about it. People have been saying Steve was involved for months, which, of course, we know is bullshit. That was nothing new. And I stood for Erin several times, even though her and I are not friends. Oh, well, what do you want? A cookie? Look, if somebody makes an allegation about somebody that I know is not true, or I believe is not true, or does not support it, I'm going to call it out as well. You know, but I can't call out everything that I don't see, or it's just... I have to pick my battles. But, you know, I do talk to people about stuff, and if you want to ask me my opinion on something, I'll probably give it to you. Right? But I hate it when there's something on the table and people try to distract by, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? It is called whataboutism and to quote Quay fallacy. And it's an attempt to divert. There could be something going on right now, and instead of dealing with it right then and there, they'll bring up something else. Why? Because it's diversionary tactics. We see a lot of dishonest agents use that technique. I'm not going to talk about what people are talking about right now. I'm not going to talk about the allegations right now. I'm going to divert, and I'm going to talk about, oh, what about this other person? If you want to pick up that other person, at least address the allegation first. Say, you're right, this is messed up, this shouldn't be this case, but also there was this other case involved too. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's not whataboutism, because you've dealt about the problem, and you've related to something else. Perfectly fine with that, personally. And I respond, but I was never involved in any of that shit. I do not do illegal shit. If you think that I have, please demonstrate, prove it. Show me a single investigation on me that has said anything of the sort. I've never been arrested. I've never been in handcuffs. Nothing. I got speeding tickets once or twice if I'm a bad person, but that was years ago. I mean, years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago. You know, but I think, I mean, I'm sorry, if that's the worst things I ever did was breaking the law, which is, you know, a vehicular traffic thing. And that's the worst thing I've ever done. I'm okay with that. I've tried even my damnedest to do not to do unethical shit as well. I have a problem with that, actually, many times with ethical considerations. You know who I go to when I have that, of all people? Yeah, believe it or not, Cheshire. I'm like, hey, Cheshire, what do you think? Am I over? Because and I'm not trying to say that Cheshire is like 100% the most ethical paragon. I mean, I do believe she's honest Absolutely. But, you know, I don't think she has the same exact level where I'm at. And I'm okay with that, you know, because hers are still higher than most. But mine, I think, is even higher than the average person. And so I have to ask her sometimes, am I overthinking this? Am I over-ethicalizing this? That's my word of the day, which I don't think exists. Is that a word, ethicalizing? I like that. If it's not a word, it is word. Now, I'm creating that word, ethicalizing. Go look. Somebody look it up. Is that a word? Right? Ethicalizing. I like that. Please tell me, one of my mods, please let me know. Is that a word, ethicalizing? Because I'm too busy doing shit to look stuff up. Just I was like, Steve got a speeding ticket when he was a teenager. Lynch him, yes. And I think there was a registration issue as too. I don't remember. But I said, I literally stay awake at night pondering ethical questions. Yeah, why? Because I do ethical videos and philosophy. I tend to virtue ethics. So I asked, where's my apology? Again, I'm not being mean any of this. And I don't really care about any of that. I'm just trying my conversation with her. Of course, you can go look this up. This is out there. She says, once again, you're taking my post out of context. I never said trolls had to do anything to do with Steve McRae. I was replying to Julie Vertical. Done with this. And I said, okay, so no apology? Not even an admission? You even screwed up? That tells me a lot about your lack of ethics, that it should anyone else. Again, my opinion, wasn't trying to be mean to her. I'm straightforward. I'm blunt. If I think you're unethical, I'm going to tell you that. Oh, ethicalization is a word. Damn it. Damn it. Thank you, Chesh. Oh, well, that's a good word then. Ethicalization. I just like saying that. It rolls really well. Ethicalization. Rose asks, Kay could make more money if she took down that video, added an update, and reposted it. For motivation is money. It makes sense, but her motivation is obviously to do harm to you. I have no idea about the financial things. I don't even care. That was, you know, do I find it odd people are profiting from videos that promote lies and misinformation? Yeah. But if that's the content creator that you are, okay, so be it. I'm not going to care really one way or another. But what I do care about is that, you know, she doesn't even care whether to put a disclaimer or not on there, and that's her prerogative. Yeah, she's a content creator. She can do whatever how she wants on her channel, but we can also call it out, saying that she has on her channel now a video that everybody knows people lied on, that there's a lawsuit involved with that video in evidence that has been given to my attorneys. Do you think I'm going to sue somebody if I thought for a second I was involved in any of this shit? I mean, look, I know that some people actually are just silly enough to think that I'm an idiot, but most of my people that watch me probably is not a word that used to describe me often. I'm a lot of things, but stupid is not one of them. At least I think so. Now, obviously, you get the new atheist out there and the AC atheist that Steve's so dumb. He doesn't know anything about logic or philosophy. Okay, let's go with that. But all you have to do is show that my logic's wrong to demonstrate that, or at least give an indication that, you know, my logic is flawed. That might give insight whether I know a little bit of basics or not. I'm not anybody advanced by any stretch of imagination. But yeah, I don't think the word dumb is that applicable to me. But if you want to, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. All right. So far, I mean, how's my demeanor with her? Again, that's my first interaction with her. She wanted people to look at it. She said that very clearly. That's on Cheshire stream. She says very clearly somewhere, go look at the first interactions we had. Okay, doing that. Let's see here. She says, I was told he has the video. I'm just editing out some of the explicit stuff that was said. Well, told by whom? Okay? Because I didn't have the video at that time. And I didn't have the live chat to it at that time. Which is why I was asking, can I have the video unedited with the live chat? Why? Because I was going to send it to my lawyers because I knew I was suing somebody. I hadn't filed yet, I don't think at this time, but I certainly knew that it was going to be. Maybe I did file. No, when did I file? In around this time. It was very close to this time that I didn't file through the court, but at least did the hip pocket service, right? I knew that there was going to be a complaint being written. It had to be around this time, if I had to guess. It was around June, July, or August. But I definitely knew that I had been considering suing for a long time, and I wanted all the evidence I can get. So I said, I don't have the video. Again, people saying what they've been told, but not actually going to the primary source. And I get it when people say I've been told. I don't even have a problem with that. We all say, look, I've been told this. I get that. And I'm gonna give her principle of charity here that she probably was told that I had the video. But I made it very clear that I didn't. Right? I made it very clear that I didn't. Nor did she offer it to me at any time. She could have said, hey, before I edit this and delete the live chat, which we all told her goes away, I pointed that out. The intrigued feline pointed that out. Tina pointed that out. We all told her it destroys evidence of the historical record. Because I'm really big in the historical record. Why? Because I know people perform historical revisionism. So I let her know I don't have the video. Did she write back, oh, I'll give you a copy before I change it? Nope. Nope, that didn't happen. And I said, do you want to come on my channel, Kay, to discuss how to go about asking people for facts, details such as times, places, where, when, who, and how. I offered that to her. Yes, I did. You know? So I said, well, Meek says this. Meek responds, this is really condescending, in my opinion. And my alarm's about to go off. Hang on, I gotta, okay. So she says, this is really condescending in my opinion. She allows anyone on her channel to have their say. Well, that's not good when people are allowing people to come on to make false allegations. It's one thing to have people on for their opinions. We did that on Non Sequitur, right? To have opinions. And again, we let that slide a little bit when people make factual statements we know are not true, like the earth is flat. We know that we're bending the rules a little bit there, right? Because they're making claims we know they can't support. But that's when we say, okay, what's your evidence the earth is flat? Right? That's what the shows were about. But if somebody came on and made false allegations that somebody committed a crime, blah, 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 yeah, it'd be a lot different story. Or there are certain historical revisionisms that I would not allow on my channel. People know that I have kicked people off for denying certain things, like the Holocaust, or denying the Challenger explosion, or Sandy Hook kind of crap. Denying any of that stuff. I won't have those types of people on. That's just my personal thing. Other people can talk about those things. If you want to have a Holocaust denier on your channel, knock yourself out. If you want to expose them as being the dumb shits they are, knock yourself out. As long as you're not platforming them to give them a voice and say, "Oh, look, I'm promoting this stuff," and you don't, that's a whole different story. If you give them pushback, then have them on. I have just personally decided that's not the kind of content I want to have. I don't want to talk about those things with those people. But she says, but you're calling her out for not asking you for your side. Now you're inviting on your channel to call her out on and something that you think she did wrong on her channel. Yeah, what's wrong with that? But I also said that I would go on her channel before I realized she was dishonest. And I have a standing, what I'll call a standing order, that I don't go on channels I find to be dishonest channels. If I think your channel is dishonest, then I'm not going to go on that channel. Why would I? Because I know I'm not going to be heard. I'm not going to have a fair evaluation of the evidence. So yeah, I don't bother with that any longer. Cheshire is more brave than I am when it comes to that. Cheshire would go right in the lion den and not care. And I think she did a great job by going in the lion's den to have a conversation with Kay. And I think Carla was there and Irish Badass. I think Cheshire held her ground quite well and was very civil. Look, I'll be the first person to say Cheshire was being a little bit of a bitch or something, right? If I think that she was a little out of line, I'll be the first to admit that, right? And I think she'll do with that as me as well. By the way, I'm buffering. I'll make sure I'm still connected here because it says chat disconnected. Am I live still? Uh-oh. It says I'm still live. Let me check here. Just want to make sure. Yeah, I still got a connection. Why am I buffering? You guys get buffering? Could be just on my laptop here. All right. Let me reset this because I'm trying to monitor the chat as I can. But I lost my chat here. One sec. Okay. Cheshire asked, did you know I was going to Kay's channel? Hell no, I didn't know you were going to Kay's channel. No, you betrayed me on that. No, I didn't know. I had no idea. I found out well after the fact. And then if I'm not mistaken, I asked for a copy or link or whatever, and I said I was going to watch it eventually either that night or the next day, which I did. If I tell Cheshire I'm going to watch something, I definitely try to watch it. But no, I had absolutely no idea that she was going to do that, nor do I really need to know. She doesn't tell me what she, I mean, unless it directly has something that she wants me to get involved with, she has no onus to at all. But I generally kind of, watch things after the fact. Okay, no buffering. Thank you, Triggertis. But yeah, there's no planning of that whatsoever. I heard somewhere down the line that I sent her or blah, 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 or there was cahoots there or some plan. No, I had no idea she was going in there. So anybody who says otherwise is lying. All right. So let's go back to my Twitter here. Because again, that's what she wanted us to evaluate. All right. And she says, and that's fine. Nobody said it does. So maybe just not giving it any attention if it's not up to your alley. None of the allegations were Kay's allegations. Want to bet? Meek? I'm going to show that it was. I'm going to show 10 minutes of that video where it is pretty conclusive where Kay's opinion was at. That she did nod along and agree with Katie. Now, again, that is subjective. So... Jester said, did you know I was going to make a video reviewing my interaction? I'm not quite sure if I did or not, because you had a vote on a video. You had a vote on your community chat, and so I don't know the chronology, but you did have a vote on your community tab that said, should I review this, yes or no? And I don't know how many days ago that was. So if that's what you're referring to, then yeah, I knew because you put it on your community tab. No. Or if you're referring to the original video, then no. But I don't know the dates, so I can't fully answer that question because I don't know which video review you're referring to. So I want to make sure people get the right information out. They could be like, Steve lied. No, I did know that Cheshire posted something on her community tab. I just remember what that was for. And I say, so we are on the same page that she just platformed people to give unsubstantiated allegations to gossip monitoring. Is that correct? And of course, I didn't get a response. And if that's the case, okay. But at least be upfront that that's the type of channel that you have, right? If you say, look, I have a channel where people can say whatever they want, they can gossip, they can have false allegations, they can say things we know aren't true, okay. You're a content creator. You're allowed to do that on your channel. Cheshire says, did I ask permission to have cake for breakfast this morning? First of all, if you had cake for breakfast this morning, you might want to reevaluate your nutritional considerations. But I haven't even spoken to you today, Chesh, I don't think. Have I? Yeah, I don't think that I did. By the way, happy Thanksgiving, Canadian girl. But no, I haven't talked to Cheshire this morning. I woke up and I was like, I got to do the stream because it's my own day off. And but yeah, I did not give you permission to eat cake, but I hope it was good because I do like cake, even on my diet. All right, so let's go back to Twitter again. Now this one, oh no, it's the same date. Okay, so this is again all the same date, July 18th. I said, first of all, on vacation. Second of all, I never go on a panel with any of those people. Besides, I already read that. Oh, here we go. She says again, you gotta remember how Twitter works, right? There's a tweet, and then underneath that tweet, you got all these subtweets. So they're kind of like going through the subtweets at this point. And she says again, I never asked anyone. They just showed up and asked to go on mic. Again, who? Okay. Has anybody seen any evidence that anybody had any allegations of anything contrary to that? Because I have not. Where has anybody said that Kay had asked people to come on or planned anything? If they have said that, then that is their argument. That is their claims, and they have nothing to do with me. Because I've never said it. Cheshire's never said it that I've ever seen. So why are you saying things that we know are already the case? Again, there's actually a term for this. It's called the fallacy of a relevant thesis. And that's a fancy way of saying, I'm going to say it again, fallacy of a relevant thesis. What this means is what she is saying is true, but it's irrelevant to the argument. It's a detractor is what it is. Again, another technique that I've seen dishonest people use, because now what you're saying is, oh, look, I'm saying something that is true, but it's irrelevant to what the allegations are. This is something that, again, that Cheshire and I have pointed out on Caffeine Corner. Go watch them. I have a playlist. Go watch all the Caffeine Corners we've done. You'll pick up a lot. Because there are certain techniques that dishonest agents use. This is why I think I'm pretty good at picking up on them, because I've seen the techniques used over and over again. It'd be like me saying some allegation, then Kay says 1 + 1 = 2, though. Well, yeah, but what the hell does that have to do with anything? Nobody that I'm aware of made any allegations that Kay had connived and manipulated and had Machiavellian plans to do anything. I never thought that. I still don't think that. She may have asked when they're in the chat, but that's fine, right? Yeah, I know Nat. Okay, you're right. Rose makes a very good point. Thank you, Rose. Nat did make a video claiming Clay planned it. Okay, but Nat was the only one that I'm aware of. I do remember that. And I'm going to say exactly what Cheshire says on this. I don't trust anything that Nat says, good, bad, or indifferent. She can tell me the sky is blue, and I'm going to go outside and look. She's going to tell me that 1 + 1 = 2. I'm going to use my calculator. Okay, you cannot go by anything she says, good, bad, or indifferent. And it sucks because nothing can be used, I think, of any, any kind of evaluation for validity of anything. Because when you have somebody who constantly doesn't tell the truth, you don't know when they are telling the truth. Now, it sucks because maybe she has said things that have been true. Again, her saying that we've never talked is true. Her saying that I was not involved in anything is true. But it's unfortunate we can't go on that because she's not a credible person. And I have to recognize that. Cheshire recognized that, and she's absolutely right on that. When you have somebody who's not credible, it doesn't matter what they say. You cannot use them to either say one way or another because their testimony is, to me, just not valid. It's questionable. It's tainted at that point. And so Kay pointing that out would be a response to somebody bringing in that Kay had said that, or somebody that Nat had said that, right? Not me, right? So thank you, Rose, for pointing that out. You are absolutely correct on that, and I love when people correct that kind of stuff because, like I said, I don't remember anybody making those allegations, but I do remember now. Nat did. You're absolutely right. And I said, right, you don't care if you have on as long as you get views out of it, and you don't care what they say. Apparently, I do. That's fine. That is your style. Run your channel any way you want. I just don't go around those types of channels. Cool. Now, again, where am I demanding anything here? Where am I being hostile? Where am I harassing this person? Live chat, please tell me. Am I in any way being mean to her? I mean, she says I demanded stuff. What are you talking about, Kay? This is why at one time would have to have a conversation with her. And I still would, actually. If she wanted to come on, I would talk to her. I'm not going on her channel because, again, my rule is I don't go on channels that are dishonest. And generally, I don't have dishonest people on. But, of course, I flat earthers and younger creationists on, so I can't make that as a categorical statement that I have no dishonest people on. Of course I do. But then I give them pushback. But I tell her very clearly, run your channel any way you want. Oh my God, the harassment is terrible, isn't it? The demands I have, it's outrageous. It's just outlandish, my demands here. Okay. Kay says, you obviously haven't watched the stream. I did interrupt Raxy several times, and at least 2 times I told her she needed proof about Steve. Oh, okay, but very minimal. And you did it with Katie. Oh, we've already read that. Again, sub-threads. But I said, I did watch the stream. You said, well, there you go. Which, by the way, she's tried to revise what she meant by that in a different context, which I don't think is the case, and I'm going to point that out when we watch the video. And she says that. I said, you didn't say we need evidence of those allegations before going on. She did not say that to Katie at all. She said things like, well, there you go. I have been afraid of that. I've been afraid of that. And Katie even said, I knew it was Steve all along. And she agreed with that. Katie has said, I knew it was Steve all along. Well, in order for something to have knowledge, it has to be true. If it's not true, you cannot know something, by definition, in epistemology. So she didn't know something. That was a false statement. Has she ever retracted that statement of knowledge? No. Matter of fact, if you like philosophy, go read my essay on what's called the principle of attribution and retraction, based upon a video thing that Ozzy once did. I gave a full blog essay on the principles of attribution and retraction as far as beliefs and knowledge. And you cannot have false knowledge. You can have false belief, but you can't have false knowledge. And Katie claimed knowledge. But in order for something to be true, it has to be fact. It has to be true. We know it wasn't. And Kay agreed with it. Kay agreed with it. So there is a responsibility there. And I said, you enable them. You gave them a platform. You have an ethical responsibilities that you are avoiding here. Again, that's my opinion. Right? But, and I say, every content creator is responsible. This is a month later, by the way, August 13th. And I say, every content creator is responsible for what is said on their streams. Yes, to a point. As far as TOS, right? I mean, you're responsible. If somebody comes on your stream, YouTube holds you responsible. And you're responsible for not giving pushback. You're responsible for people making false claims and things of that nature. You're not responsible for their opinions. And again, there's a nuance to be had there that I don't think Kay understands. I said, as far as what you allow and what you get pushback on, it's unethical to just go along with people making accusations of crimes. You did. You still haven't. You still aren't even taking the slightest responsibility. Nothing. Has Kay taken responsibility for anything? Nope. Not that I've seen. Again, subjective, but nothing. I said, if something does something on your stream, YouTube flags you, not them. True. If they say false claims and you don't put the brakes on it, that is your ethical failing as a content creator. Again, my opinion. When I say I'm not responsible for what people say on the stream, it means I may not agree with their opinion. Not accusations of a crime, unless there's a probative or probable reasons to think that it's really is likely a crime did occur. I've done fuck all. Did you not get that? She knew back in August 13th that I had done nothing. There was never any evidence presented that I had done anything. Kay didn't ask Katie for any evidence. No evidence was provided. And did Kay ever go, well, you know what? It's been a few days. I couldn't get any evidence. I asked Waxy to come on. She won't do it. I can't get any evidence. I asked evidence for Katie. Katie gave me nothing. Did Kay do any of that? I don't think so. I think she said, obviously, well, Waxy wouldn't give me evidence, but she certainly didn't say, I apologize to Steve. That didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. Okay, again on August 3rd, she says, let me kind of go back a little bit on this one. Darth Rose says, Kay, you stated and most never any saw the horrible thing trolls were putting up about killing children. That was not happening in the live chat. I was there. She says, you were wrong. Myself and two of the mods were deleting them as soon as they were posted, and I tried to block them. Again, I only have a portion of the live chat. I don't have the whole video. Well, wait a minute. Maybe I don't know if I have the whole video or not. I have the video here, but I don't remember if it was just a clip or not. I'm gonna have to go back and look because I have it set for the like time stamped. No, it can't be the whole video because the video starts at where I want. So I don't have the whole video, so I don't know where that's at. But let's say that's the case. Okay. This is the reason why I had to do the second edit, as one of the horrible messes were still showing up on the replay. A viewer messaged me to tell me. Now, here's the thing. I don't think TOS or YouTube would have done anything to her channel had she left the live chat as is. Personal opinion, I don't think TOS would have been violated. I don't think that YouTube would have cared. But again, these are words. I don't know about images. If there's images, sure. If there's some images that violated, then yes. But I don't know what that could be. I don't know what she means by that. But so I say, so again, what do trolls have to do with me? I am the person who, for years, has been astronomically outspoken against trolls. So if she had trolls in her live chat, what's that got to do with me? They weren't anything to do with me. We get trolls in my live chat all the time, and what happens is moderators remove them. Right? But these trolls have been around for a very long time. They go to her channel, they go to my channel, they go to all these different content creators' channels. Right? They make these fake accounts, and they're in all of them. They're dishonest agents. They are agent provocateurs. I don't do that. So Vanley the Mask says, you have the video beginning where Katie came in and cleared the chat. That's, yes. So I have the video where Katie comes in. I have that portion of it. So I don't have the whole video with the live chat. I have the whole video, the edited version, I think it is. But I don't remember if I have the unedited version. I sent one video, of course, to my legal, I'm going to call it the legal team like Katie does. No, it's just two lawyers. No, if you want to call that a team, whatever. I have two lawyers on that. But to my lawyers, but I don't remember if I sent them the edited or the unedited. I really don't remember. It doesn't matter because we only really care about the portion where she was there. Right? Current count is 5 tonight. There's been 5 trolls already tonight. So, yeah. What did I tell you, though? I mean, if you got people coming over and trolling your freaking live chat, man, that just... It's just Suzanne's like trolling. How you feeling, Suzanne? Hope you're feeling okay. I know you, like I said, I know you and a couple people have been having beef, and I'm trying not to weigh in too much about it because I adore you. I will say this: I'm not standing up for Roadhog. Again, people are like Roadhog's my boo. No, I barely talk to Roadhog. I'm not supporting Roadhog at all. I happen to like the guy because we get along. We have a lot in common, I guess. But I understand him, I guess. Right? I have no reason not to dislike the guy. But if he makes some comments that I find egregious, I can push back on it. Like, I don't think he should ever brought in mental health stuff. I gave him so much shit for that. But I don't think Roadhog was talking about disability. So I want to put that out there for Suzanne up there. I don't think he was trying to mock disabled people, in my opinion, right? And I really hope that you guys can patch that up because, I don't want to see anybody going up to Suzanne. She's sweet. And she's very supportive of me, and I'm always going to be supportive of her because I just think she's just an straight up honest person. Doesn't mean she evaluates everything perfectly, but nobody does, right? But she corrects it. I've seen Suzanne correct her stuff, and I love that about her. All right, so she says, I've asked Waxy to come to my channel and clear it up, and she has declined, and she said she will do it on her channel, which never happened. Right? And because it never happened, did Kay ever say, I apologize, Steve. I realize now that you weren't involved in any of this, nor was Tina, neither was Erin, neither was Unveiling the Mask, neither were Manya, neither was Red's Rhetoric, or anybody else that I associate with, that I consider actual, friends. None of them were involved. We never have been. People know now that the whole narrative of some kind of cult was just bullshit from day one, promulgated by dishonest agents, mostly Unirock, and of course I think KD was right along with that. But we know now that was all bullshit. I knew that all along. Go figure. Which was really weird. Like when I got interviewed on T-Spiracy's channel, she actually was asking as if it was a possibility. And I thought that was odd, I'm not criticizing for it. I'm really not. I think the interview that she did was quite fine. But it was odd that even T-Spiracy at one point thought it possible that I was some kind of cult leader. You're like, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell I got time for that? Yeah, it's just so silly that somebody. To me, that's like believing astrology. Because I do think people that believe astrology are pretty gullible. And I say, Kay, oh wait, did I miss everything there? No. I say, Kay, you literally said, well, there you go. After you asked Katie Joy to, quote, name names. Right, she wanted that out there. Name names. Name names. You allow people to make claims I committed crimes. Do you not bear any responsibility for that? Not even an apology to me. Legal action is happening right now, not on you. And when was that? August 13th. So it was in August, about the time I was filing. I think she got served on August 16th, if I had to guess, or 17th or something around that time. Wasn't too long after this. I knew the complaint was being written up, and so nobody else knew. But I was foreshadowing. I said, legal action is happening, right? She didn't care. I wasn't bluffing. Fun fact. I don't bluff. I don't know why people haven't understood that yet. I do not bluff. And I will always try to provide as much facts as I can without revealing too much, right? Because I don't want to overplay my hand. This is why I have things in evidence that I have not released publicly. I still have things in evidence that I have not released publicly about the non sequitur case, right? I mean, even right now I have evidence that, even though it was more recently acquired, but I have evidence that Kyle had planned his coup a month before. A month before. It wasn't like, on the fly, natural progression, this nonsense about what Kai was saying about fraud or Patreon, or anything else that he was accusing me of, misusing the Streamlabs with a name, non sequitur name, or whatever the bullshit he came up with. Now, he had planned it a month in advance. I have evidence of that. Haven't released it yet, but I will. Intrigued Feline says, and sorry, I'm kind of ignoring the live chat, I apologize. Intrigued Feline says, if you want to see people who have actually been considered to be a cult leader, then look at Ken Hovind. Just an example for Steve. Ken has his own compound and click to attract the. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with saying Ken Hovind, in my opinion, has a cult. Yes, that is a compound. That is a cult-like mentality. That is based upon religion. Absolutely. Because I've asked people, okay, if we have a cult, what the hell are our tenets? What the hell do we all believe in or agree with? I have no idea. None. You know, because I get a lot of pushback for a lot of my positions. You know. Look, I just saw that Nat's in the live chat. I have no problem with Nat being in the live chat. I'm not going to address her, however. I've never spoken to Nat, and I'm not going to speak to Nat. I'm not going to address what she has to say, but I have no issue with her being in the live chat at the moment. Okay? So I'm just going to put that out there, but I'm not addressing anything that she's saying. Because I've definitely never spoken to her, and I don't even want people to think that I ever have in any way capacity, even if it's just her typing in live chat. So, then I tell her I have no desire to come on with any of them. I want nothing to do with these people. Oh, I've already read that. Okay, so let's continue on. And Kay says, let me read this first. I did not purposely remove chat. When I said I knew it was because everybody had been saying Steam is cray for months. Oh, no. That's not going to fly, Kay. I knew it means that you did believe it because knowledge implies belief. Anybody who watches my channel that, talks about philosophy and epistemology knows that knowledge is a subset of belief. You have to believe something before you can know it. So it means if you knew it, you believed it. And it wasn't, I knew it, that it was possible. Okay, no, you knew it, meaning that you did believe it, right? So you cannot revise that. I'm sorry, that's just straight up bullshit. This is also why I said just say it, and why I also reminded people to say allegedly, which was added later on. But, when you say I know it, there's no alleging at that point, I don't think. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt on that, because allegedly doesn't get you out of slander. It depends, just by throwing in that word, there are some egregious things that I think, just by saying the word allegedly, at least ethically, maybe legally, I don't know. I really don't know. But ethically, it doesn't get you out of it, especially when you know things are bullshit, or you haven't got the evidence. How could you know something if it wasn't true? You can't know something that is not true. I've explained this how many times on my channel about epistemology. You cannot know something that is not true. And she said, and why I told Waxy she had to have proof over and over again. Yeah, but what about what Katie said? That wasn't when Waxy was talking, like you're trying to rewrite and trying to make it say like, I knew it. It's like when Waxy was in there. No, this is what Katie was saying when you said that. And I will show that video clip in a minute here. And I said, you were told that if you remove anything, that chat goes away. You were absolutely informed of that, as many people had told you that. Quote, allegedly is still slandered, Kay. It isn't some miracle word to get people out of legal and ethical issues. I think there's a line of demarcation when you say something so egregious and say allegedly, that if let's say that nothing was ever alleged. Let's say there's no, people out there accusing anybody of anything, and I say, hey, Cheshire committed murder. Allegedly. Well, allegedly to whom? Who has been throwing out those allegations? But the way I say it, hey, Cheshire has committed murder. Allegedly. I mean, there's intonations there, right? There's tonage, there's pitch, there's volume involved. All these things add to what's called a perlocation effect, which is somebody's interpretation of something. Now, it's not exactly what perlocation is, I understand that, but it's still an effect that the listener has when you have these things involving intonation. And Kay said, well, I'm not the one that said it, Steve. You sure applied it. You sure went along with it just fine. And well, we're gonna show that I said your anger is misplaced. Well, I don't think it's really anger. I'm not angry. What I am is I think ethical outrage would be a better thing, or disappointed. I was disappointed initially back in August. Like I said, she said, hey, look at our first interactions. Okay, I was very cordial with her. I was very kind. I wasn't saying anything out of anger. I wasn't saying anything that was vitriolic to her. Right? So okay. Fix something real quick. And then she says, Guy's view, he says, do you accept the allegations and claims made against Steve as fact? Exactly. That's the same question I had asked. Did you accept these things as fact or believe them at one time? Never got an answer. One second. I want to check something. Just 1 second. Okay. Where was that? And then she says, well, I was the one that, when I said, quote, there you have it, it was because everyone was implying it was Steve. And then Katie said she knew it. And then she said, as I thought, what was Kay's words? We're going to listen to the stream, but she said something along the lines of, as I had feared, or something along those lines, right? And in the live chat, they were like, oh, okay, Steve, talking about me. And all people were like, oh, I knew it was Steve. You know, menace to sobriety was like, oh, I knew it was Steve all along. Well, here's a good rule of thumb for you. If I ever give you guys some good advice, if you ever see menace to sobriety or Unirock say something, 99% of the chance it's going to be 180 degrees away from the fact. Just go with that. I mean, you're better off to place money that is completely wrong. Because again, we know now that none of us were involved in this, and Menace was completely wrong. Just like he was lying when he said that Kyle had logged into his bank account to show that the lawyers that it was not fabricated evidence. Well, we know now it was fabricated evidence. We have evidence of that. Right? We know for a fact it was fabricated. He was wrong about that. He lied about that. Right? So again, we have to take all this into account that when she had said, there you have it, she was like, oh, yeah, I knew it was Steve all along, because Katie even said it was, I know it was Steve. And she's like, yeah, she agreed. And again, we'll listen to that. And okay, I'm just going back to my live chat. Why was Annie timed out? Was that friendly fire or something else? I'm sorry. I'm trying to pay attention here to live chat. Oh, Cheshire, friendly fire. Sorry about that, Annie. And then Carla says, I heard the live streams myself, actually a few times. Katie said it was Steve behind the threats. Yes, she did. It's in my complaint to her. And again, if you agree with me on any of this, please help me in my GoFundMe. And I said, she says, and you specifically said, there you have it. Why are you lying? That's pretty damn telling. I'm trying to be respectful as possible, but you're not telling the truth right now. Yeah, what's harassment there? Again, later on down the line, like late 4 months later, Kay is now saying, well, people have been harassing me for 4 months. This is not harassment. Calling you out that you've lied is not harassment. Carla here is not harassing her. She's saying, look, I've listened to the stream, and this is what was said, and this is your response to it. And I think you're lying on it. And she says, I just explained in that tweet above, then go listen to all the times I asked if they had proof. Oh, we plan to do that. But as far as you asking for proof of Katie, I said, I didn't hear anything. Maybe you did. Where was it? The times I told Waxy to stop. Again, not going to show that part of it because I agree. You did that with Waxy, but you should have didn't do it with Katie, and you're trying to conflate the two. You're saying, oh, look, people are accusing me of not giving pushback when Katie was saying it, and you're agreeing with what Katie was saying with, but I told Waxy to give me evidence, and you're trying to take that fact and apply it to Katie. That's dishonest, okay? That's another type of dishonest technique that I see often. Well, I gave this person pushback, but you didn't give this other person pushback, and that's the claim, right? Cheshire says, yeah, I just asked Katie, and this is a quote. Katie did say this. It's not harassment to call out the lies of a liar. Yeah. Hey, I agree with Katie on that. Yeah. Believe it or not, I can agree with people that I'm suing on certain things. Because, broken clock and all. But yeah, I happen to agree. It's not harassment to call out the lies of a liar. I don't have a problem with that. And Carla says, but said... Oh, okay. Well, Kay says, but you all just wanted to pick out one thing I said and ignore the rest because it wasn't in that context. Kay, when you said these things, you were talking to Katie. You weren't talking to Waxy. And Carla says, but you said, there you have it. because everyone was implying that it was Steve. No, Katie said it was Steve, and then you said immediately afterwards, there you have it. Look, I'm not trying to argue, but all I'm looking for is an apology for you and to take responsibility. Same thing we've always said. Right. Exactly. And retract what was said. Maybe take the video down. I don't care about that, but I mean, at least retract. Kay goes on and says, Steve McRae specifically said not to take the video down. I don't recall saying that. I didn't find a tweet where I said that. If I did, let me know. Maybe I'm thinking myself, I know the way I think, right? And I may have said, no, leave the video up so it has a complete record. That's what I would have said, but I couldn't find any tweet that said that. So if there's a tweet out there, I'm guessing that's probably going to be the case. But I did search. I couldn't find it, but I suck at searching. Twitter sucks. But if you look for that, maybe that was the case. I'm going to say that could have been. She says, so I left it up. I'm happy to take it down. No, she's not. But whatever. But then anyone was so shit at me for taking it down. Can't win either way. Well, yeah, you can. Because the other day, Cheshire had given you advice of, if you want to get out from under this, put a disclaimer on it. She didn't demand it like you lied and said that she did, which is another completely different claim. Kay did say that Cheshire demanded to put a disclaimer on the video. She demanded to take it down. Well, which was it? Did she demand to take it down or demand a disclaimer? Because I think Kay claimed both. Neither, which was the case. So you can win on that. You could have put a disclaimer, and I don't think anybody would have bothered Kay again on this. Claire Bear says, why is defending yourself against misinformation being called harassment? Because they're dishonest. That's why. Are they allergic to accountability? Are they deflecting? Yep. Or are they the actual harassers? Yep. Well, I mean, I don't think Kay has harassed anybody. No, I'm not going to say Kay is harassing, but Kay definitely is deflecting. Definitely being more dishonest than honest, that's for sure. Carla says, I understand that. Maybe tweet an apology for what was said on that video. That could have been a start. Did that happen? Nope. Takes some kind of clear responsibility. Just a thought. Carly, I'm right on board with you on this. You don't have to do anything I ask. I won't respond anymore saying that I'm obviously upsetting you. I used to love watching you on YouTube. Where's the harassment? Okay? You said people are harassing you for 4 months. I would like evidence on that. That's why I straight up called you a liar. If they have been, they weren't from anybody I know. Maybe, let's assume Margaret Window that she was being harassed. Okay, show me that, and I'll tell you what, I will publicly denounce it. I will be the first one to say, look, you were harassing Case, knock your shit off. I'll do that to any of them. I'll do it to Cheshire. I'll do it to Mr. Serious. I'll do it to Red's Rhetoric. If I think anybody was harassing her, I'll call it out. Show me the evidence of it. Cheshire wants me to show something which might be very difficult for me to do. I'm on two different systems here. Let me see here. Let me see here. Oh, that's a different thing there. Ah, shoot. Yeah, this might be a little more difficult to do that, Chesh. See, what does she want me to show there? Okay, I'll show that when I get to the videos. I'll try to show that, Chesh. Oh, yeah. I know what video that is. I will definitely try to show that. Yeah, I have to cut and paste it. So give me a second. I just have multiple things here. I have two different windows open. One's for other stuff and for messages to me, and I don't want to go on string, obviously. So what I got to do is I got to cut this over to the other window, which I can do. Okay, here we go. So this is what she has to be showed.
If she's going to be respectful, if she's
if you're Chesh, I'd like to hear what Chesh has to say.
All right, so let me give a setup for this real quick. Okay, so the setup to this was that correct me if I'm wrong, Chesh, but you were in the live chat and you said something to the effect, well, if you want me to come on, I will. There was no demand. There, you didn't demand a link, and if I'm not mistaken, Kay said that you demanded a link to join. You demanded to come in. Well, where was the evidence for that? Because that's not what I saw. And then they said, well, yeah, Cheshire would come in if she was respectful and nice. Right? And which look, Cheshire could be vicious when she wants to be. This was not the case. I thought, if anything, Cheshire was reserved as shit. And I'm proud of her for it. I'm glad that she was. She didn't go in there guns a-blazing. Right? She went in there perfectly fine, giving helpful advice. And she even said, you don't have to take my advice, but, if you want to do this, and this. But watch the historical revisionism from Kay. And again, subjective. Somebody can say, well, I thought she was mean. I don't think she was mean. That's subjective. I get it. But what is objective is what was actually said. So let's listen to that real quick.
If you want to send her a link.
If she's going to be respectful, if she's going to talk to me.
Cheshire, if you're going to be cool, then.
If she's going to talk to me like she's talked to me on Twitter, we're not doing it.
Oh, no.
I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. I don't know if that music's copyrighted or not, but, But no results. So basically, I don't think Cheshire has ever talked to her on Twitter. So what is Kay referring to on that? What are you talking about, Kay? I'd like to know what you meant by how Cheshire talks to you on Twitter. Now, maybe there's tweets out there we didn't see. Again, I'll be the first to admit, Twitter search sucks. It sucks. But I am probably pretty confident that Cheshire did a diligent search, but let's assume that she didn't. Can any of you find anything of any results using any method that there was any conversation between these two people? Because people would say, well, Cheshire deleted them, which she wouldn't have done, but it still would have been on Kay's side, right? So please let me know if that's the case, because I couldn't find anything either. But again, I'll be the first to admit I kind of suck at searching. Okay, so let's go back to my tweets to her. Okay, so that's it. Those are my conversations with her. And there's one other thing that I wanted. A couple other tweets I want to talk about. I wasn't really involved in these, but again, she said, "Talk. Go back to the original conversation I had with Steve." She said that. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Rose says, "I think Kay was confusing me and Chesh." I doubt that. I seriously doubt that, because I was badass. Sure the hell knows who Cheshire is. EMP says for £5. Thank you for the super chat. What is it with these lovers? Oh, I'm sorry. God damn it, I'm so sorry. I'm reading this at a distance. That was accidental. What is this with these losers asking people to be, quote, respectful when they confuse respectful with pandering to a narrative without proof? Exactly. And by the way, when I find somebody to be a dishonest agent, I generally lose respect, right? And so my tonage may change because I don't respect them. Yeah. Keon says, I deleted, but he's tweet. I deleted Cheshire's tweets. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. I have this bot that goes in there and just poof, 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 poof. Whenever Cheshire sticks her wee little head out, bam, that tweet gets deleted. Yep. Because I'm just a programming guru when it comes to botting, right? It took me 3 days to figure out Python to write a very little script. Okay, so yeah, my programming is not what it used to be. But yeah, that's funny that people actually think that. Because that was actually an allegation by somebody that I was deleting somebody else's tweets. I'm like, what? How does that work? Stick my wee little head out. Okay, so there's some things I found that Kay had said. Like, she says, you obviously, this was to a Timsy mom. She says, you obviously haven't watched the stream. I did interrupt Waxy several times. At least 2 times I told her she needed proof about Steve. I have seen Steve and his friends say they aren't responsible for what people say on the channel. But am I? Yes, you are. But again, we're not talking about that. I never said Steve did anything. Oh, yeah. Implicitly, you did, Kay. Implicitly, you sure the hell did. And told them to stop throwing accusations around unless you could prove it. Where did you say that to Katie? Did I miss that part? Because we're going to watch 10 minutes of that video, and I watched it pretty clearly, I think, and I don't think that I remember you or hearing you ask her for any evidence. We're gonna objectively look, see what was out there, and we're gonna subjectively evaluate it. And for your, opinion. Let's see here. All right. And then there's this. She says, this is a couple days ago. She says, they have been going after me for 4 months. Citation needed, please. Yeah, Manya says she interrupted Waxy but nodded along with Katie. That's exactly it. And she's trying to say, don't look at this, look at that. It is extremely obvious of a deflection, of a dishonest technique to say, oh, look, don't look what's going over here. Let's look what's going on over there. Matter of fact, it was a technique that a couple people used in Kay's live chat for diversionary tactics. And I'm hoping all you out there are starting to realize there are certain people that use certain tactics, such as diversionary tactics, to avoid having culpability, avoid having responsibility, to avoid direct answering of questions. People know my motto: honest interlocutors asking honest questions will get honest answers. Now, again, that is not 100% absolute. There are always going to be caveats, but for the most part, that's my motto. Right? Has any of you ever asked me an honest question you didn't get an honest answer to? If no, if you think you haven't, please let me know. Because I got to tell you, I'm inundated more than ever right now with messages. Well, I should say more than ever. We're past the non sequitur, all that crap. But my messages were quite low for quite some time. They've started picking up again. And most of the messages I get in DMs are about this kind of stuff. Now, if you're one of those people out there that asked an honest question that didn't get an honest answer, say something in the live chat. And if you are an honest person who got an honest answer, save that too. Let people know. Hey, yes, see, I asked Steve a question, I got an honest, direct answer. I would appreciate if everybody out there who's ever DM'd me a question, did you not get an honest answer? And that includes mods and everybody else. Just to have it on record there. I'd appreciate it. And then she says, topped off by Chesh appearing in my live chat last night, demanding, listen to that word, demanding. That is a hyperbolic word. That I take the video down or put up a disclaimer that they're to stop hassling me. They forgot Steve McRae never told me never to take it down. Okay, let's look at that. What is written there is objective. Demanding I take the video down. When did that happen? When? I don't recall anywhere Cheshire in the brief time she was in there, 20 minutes, I think, 15 minutes. And by the way, they call that a flyby. That's not a flyby. Okay, learn what was understood in the usages of terminology in the internet communities. That's not a flyby. 20 minutes is definitely, even 15 minutes, even 5 minutes is not, I wouldn't consider a flyby. But whatever. But she was in there for some time. And I don't recall anywhere Cheshire said take the video down or demanded or even requested it. Where did this happen? And she said, or put the disclaimer. No, she did not demand you put a disclaimer. She gave you a recommendation. She said, if you want this, if you want to get out from under this kind of thing, those are not her words explicitly, but, if you want my advice, then, you can put a disclaimer in. Because she had said, what are you going to do about the video? And then, Irish Badass and Kay Baxter were like, well, what do you mean? What am I going to do about the video? Was the question too difficult? All just what I want to know is, well, what are your plans going forward? Now that you know the allegations are bullshit, because I'm convinced Kay does realize that all those allegations were bullshit. What are you going to do? Are you going to leave it up? Are you going to leave it down? Are you going to add a disclaimer? What are your plans? That's all she's asking. I think it's a fair question. Right? It's a fair question to be asked. Never did get an answer on that, by the way. She just said, I guess she said she's just going to leave it up and do nothing. That's her answer. I'm going to leave it up and do nothing. I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm not going to put a disclaimer. She even said, oh, so many people know she's like, oh, my followers already know the truth. Really? That's what you're going to go with? What about the people that aren't following? You're allowing not only unsubstantiated allegations, you're allowing provably, demonstrably false allegations to be on your channel. Yeah, I got a problem with that. Check Twitter, please. Okay. Check. What am I looking at here? I'm checking my DMs. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, there it is. Came up. Sent a link. Oh, yeah. I can show that in a second here. Sure. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I think I have that Manya queued, or I thought I did. There was there was Kay had actually even messaged YouTube to say, oh wait, why are my view counts not changing? Now I think that's kind of weird. We all know that a video after the fact doesn't get much views, right? I mean, let me put this over here. I'm gonna show that in DM. So, conversation with Kay at Team YouTube. This video has never shown a gain in views since the day it was live. Something is wrong. What really? Why is that important? I just think that's weird that you care so much about view count. And Team YouTube says, thanks for reaching out. View counts can freeze as our system verifies that they're real and accurate, which it does. It used to be called 301. I don't think Kay was around back in those old school days, but there was a time where it would freeze at 301 views. You guys remember that? That's old school, right? That's old school, but it does still do that. Right? We know that a video can freeze. We also know it doesn't get a lot of counts. They can also adjust and slow during the process. More information if you meant something, let us know. And she's like, well, it's been almost 5 months, so I don't think it's going to fix itself. This live was in July. The view count has never gone up since the day it went live on YouTube, which is impossible. This is one of my most viewed videos, but no view counts to lie. I don't know. I got videos from 5 months ago that haven't really changed. But again, that's what you find as a priority, that the view count didn't go up. Not the fact that people had lied about me, not the fact they put out misinformation about me, not the fact they made claims that I committed crimes. No, that's secondary to your view counts. Yeah, okay. And they said, forget, Steve McRae told me never to take it down. Again, I don't recall ever saying anything that explicit, but if I did, I'm willing to look at evidence for that. And I'll be like, yeah, I apologize, I did tell her. But like I said, if that's the case, I'm going to say ahead of time, it's probably because I wanted the record to be historically accurate. That's the only reason why I would imagine me wanted the video being left up, is for historical accuracy, right? And so that might be the case, but I still couldn't find that to be out there. You know, I maybe you guys can help me out. Cheshire, Amanya, and Erin are much better at this stuff than I am. So if you guys can find where I told her that, I would be greatly appreciative. But like I said, if I did, I would have had to have been only for the reason to have historical accuracy, right? And by the way, like I said, I certainly don't make a lot off views. You know what you make off 1,000-something views? You know, pennies on the dollar. You don't make that much, right? Most of my income I have to rely on is from Patreon and member benefits, and then of course super chats. That's what I make my revenue on. It's not the views, you know. But I don't care if a video gets 1,000 views or 5,000 views. I care about the content of the video more than anything else. And people know that about my channel. I have specifically gone on my way not to do videos on certain topics that I know would get views. But I don't, for a couple different reasons. One, I'm not a death vulture. And two, I don't know much about the content. And I'm not going to talk about content merely because it's popular. I talk about what I want to talk about. Manya for 5 New Zealand says, thank you, Manya. She says, she wants to know why the video on which you and Steve, people were falsely accused, is not getting more views. That video without any clarification. That is a good point, Manya. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. So Manya's saying this. Why does Kay want people to watch a video that doesn't have any context given to it, nor disclaimer? I mean, clearly she wants revenue off of it, I think. But more importantly, why does she want people to watch a video that she's unwilling to put a disclaimer on? Answer me that, Kay. Live chat, answer me that. What do you guys think? Why would she want to have people watch a video knowing now that it's full of bullshit without having a disclaimer on it? So I don't know. And then the Sven person who I have blocked says, I'm sorry, but they don't get to demand you take down or else that's bullshit. Yeah, because that never happened. Never happened. This is what I'm saying. And Kay just throws that out there. Doesn't care whether it's true or not. This is why I put her on as a dishonest agent. Because she didn't care whether it's true or not. All she had to do was find evidence of it. Hey, Chesh, did you demand anything of Kay? And if you did, let's see it from somebody. Because as far as I can find, I can't find a single case where Chesh demanded anything of Kay. It'd be pretty easy to find something. If Kay's making that claim, she has the responsibility to go find it where Chess made those demands. And then I will address it. I'll be like, yeah, Chess, you did demand that. I think it should have reworded it. And by the way, even if she did, she has the right to amend things, just like we all do. She could say, look, I apologize. I didn't mean to come across as demanding. It was more of a request or a polite request. You can amend things on claims. In fact, that's what an honest person would do, is amend things. Dishonest people don't like claims to be amended. They're like, oh, this was the claim. It's been proven wrong. Okay, yes. But I can amend it. Matter of fact, somebody had sent me a philosophical, I guess it's not a paper. It's a philosophical handout that a college professor was using on how to properly look at a claim, a proposition, and evaluate whether there's conflicting evidence against it. And how do you evaluate the maybe a contrapositive or a direct negation of the proposition? It's a great little handout, and I have it tabbed, and I plan to do that on my channel as one of my philosophy videos, because it's really awesome. I really think it goes, how should you accept a proposition, when you should reject a proposition, when you should deny the counter evidence, when you should accept the counter evidence, right? And here's a case where you have a person making a claim that provides no evidence for it. None. So why would I accept that by fiat that it is the case that she demanded something? But let's say there is evidence that shows that Cheshire demanded something. She has every right to amend that. Claire says, why clear up the misinformation when you make money on the bullshit and keep going? Oh, absolutely. I think I'm thoroughly convinced they only give a shit about the income. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. Now, again, that's my personal opinion. That's not an objective fact. Somebody says, what's your evidence of that, Steve? Well, first of all, I don't need evidence of that, because that's just my opinion. They can ask my justification for it, and if I want to convince them of it, yeah, I have an onus to kind of give my reasoning for that. Sure, if I want to convince you, which I will do. Here's the evidence in this video right here. Because she's asking YouTube giving more of a shit about the views than the content of the video. That she wants people to go watch this without a disclaimer. That to me is evidential. That to me is evidence that she's more interested in just the money, which is, I think, common. It can't be that much. It's because I know what it is on my end. It's pretty negligible as far as view count. And so I don't know what's so important to her about the views. To me, it's not just the money. It seems to me she wants people to go watch a video she knows has misinformation on it. She wants people to go watch a video with misinformation. That's how I view it. And if you ask me why I justify it, well, there you go. Here, go watch this video. That is my justification for that. If I want to convince you, which, by the way, I kind of do. That's why I'm making this video. I don't have any onus to make this video. I have no onus to persuade you of anything. But I'm going to try, because I know I was wronged. I know I was lied about. I know everything in that video was bullshit. And people were like, oh, I knew it was Steve all along. Yeah, you're so full of shit. You're just going on with a bandwagon. And then Ethical Ag Blood says, no one demanded that at all. No one even said those words by Kay. I think he means by Kay, but Kay herself. Yeah. No one demanded that. Exactly. Maya Nova says, where was this said? Or else demanded? Yep. Because it wasn't, Maya. It wasn't said anywhere. Letty says, she said the opposite. Quote, I would say it's probably not a good idea to take it down. Yeah, that sounds like demanding take it down to me. What is Cheshire, the reverse speaker that, like, she wants everything done by reverse psychology? That she says I would say it's probably not a good idea to take it down. It's like reverse psychology on Kay to say she really wants it down, which wouldn't it be a demand? Reverse psychology isn't a demand. T King says, I can't wrap my head around why it's so difficult to just have a conversation with you, Steve. You're right. I can't either. Kay could have. Kay can come in here right now if she wants to. I won't go on her channel, but Waxy or Kay at any time could have had a conversation with me. My DMs have been open. Matter of fact, I had heard Waxy wanted to DM me from somebody. Again, one of those things I was told, and I'm just going to, provide that out there. I'm not going to give you evidence of that, but I was told. Because again, sometimes you're just told things. Yeah, Waxy was going to DM me. Be that true or not, I don't know. But it never happened. I can tell you right now, she never did. She could have came on. I would have been civil. I would have been nice. You know, of course I would have called them out for lying, but I would have heard them out. You know, I know when to put my kit gloves on. I understand that. I recognize when I'm dealing with people that are probably not as thick skinned as some other people. But yeah, this, and look who she's talking to, of course. You know, Unirock TV. Yeah, and Unirock has been defending Kay, I guess. Hey, look, when your staunch defender is Unirock, you really do need to rethink your life decisions. That is not a person I ever want to defend me. Now, did Unirock initially on the NSS? Yeah, he got some stuff right. That's one of the reasons I started talking to him. But as soon as he started lying to his audience, and Manya and I knew that, and he didn't care, we wanted nothing left to do with him. We broke all ties with him, because I say to people, look, if you're going to lie on your channel for views, you're not a content creator I want to have anything to do with. And I have isolated myself because of that. I have isolated myself from a lot of content creators because I know they lie, and I won't be around that. And you know what? I have been shown right on those things. I have a pretty goddamn good radar for that, I think, anymore. You know? Kimamaki says, Steve's interlocutors are too busy looking for non-existent traps they imagine Steve is laying. Exactly. Exactly. We see that all the time when it comes to my philosophical interviews, right? Sometimes you get somebody who's just dishonest. Like a perfect example, I think, of that was when Cheshire and I talked to David Smalley. David Smalley thought I was laying all these traps. I'm like, no, I'm just talking, man. I'm not. Look, I'm not saying that I haven't laid traps for like flat earthers before, or even younger creationists. Possibly, sure, yeah. But when I'm telling you straight up, I'm not doing so. I'm telling you the truth. And matter of fact, I'm the kind of person to say, yeah, I'm laying traps. Let's see if you walk into them. You know, I'm okay with that, because once they do walk into them, it's all the more savory. It's all the more, you know, delish to relish in going, hey, dude, I even told you I was laying traps, and you walk right into it. Now, do I think this really has happened? No, but it would be kind of cool if it did. Maybe 1 or 2 times on the Non Sequitur show, I may have said it. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, I'm not playing games with the people. I'm not trying to lay traps for them. I'm going by the objective things that were on video and spoken. Yeah. But I've never been in a debate, though, so I guess it doesn't count. Actually, I have been. So, but yeah, so David Smalley was an archetype. I'm always going to fall back on somebody who thought there was a conversation that was happening that wasn't. Chester and I were never remotely laying traps for him. Right? Take care. I think Suzanne's got to leave. Have a great Meliagris Genocide Day, Thanksgiving Day. And let's see what else I got. Okay, so let's, you know, how about we just dive into the video here? Okay. Let me make doubly sure that you can see this here. Yeah. Wait for it to come up. EMPS says Smalley was way too self-interested to even bother to take on a new perspective. Oh yeah. No, he even said, hey Steve, can you change the brand and the name and the video to match my brand? I'm like, I'm okay with that. I really don't mind that at all. Sure, you have a brand, I get that. But I really do think he was more interested in image than content. Now, hopefully you guys can read the live chat. I can try to make it bigger if needs be, but I'm looking at my laptop here, and it looks like it's legible. But you really have to go to a higher resolution. I'm streaming in 720p, so you have to be probably at least in 720p to read this. But let's listen to this from the beginning, okay? Ready for this? And I will be stopping and talking about the live chat as well. So here we go.
I respect you in that. Like, I get that you hate me, but I respect you enough to not say a word when I'm told not to.
Okay, that was Nat talking. Don't know what that was referring to, but.
So, do you want to name who she named, Katie?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, I saw the screenshot of the actual account she spoke to. It was the real account of the person. She had them blocked. And it was Steve McRae.
There you go.
All right, so let's take that portion of it. I definitely can have all the evidence required to show that never happened. Why? Because everything's server side. If I have ever spoken to Nat through Instagram on any account, it would be server side, and that's something that could be accessed. I know I never did. Nat has actually said I never have. Again, but it's hard to believe anything that she has said because she has been dishonest in the past. But Nat has never provided any evidence that I have ever messaged her on any platform, including Instagram. There at some point now, I don't have a particularly in this. I only went back and listened to the first 10 minutes of this video. So maybe later on in this video, or somewhere it was said on some platform or somewhere, I thought it was this video, but somewhere, if you guys remember, there was an allegation that somebody had hacked into her account, deleted the evidence that it was me, and therefore there was no evidence to be provided. Yeah, well, come on. I mean, that's a pretty fantastic story. And it doesn't work that way because, again, it's stored server side. So Katie could not have verified it with me. It was me because I never did. Never did. Matter of fact, I have 2 accounts on Instagram, one of which I've never messaged anybody on. Never. Not one. And so we already know that didn't happen. But Kay says, well, there you go. And she's trying to say, well, we just wanted, I was just meant, we named Steve was thrown out there, and therefore it's finally out there in the open. Okay, let's say at that point that was the case. If just isolating that part, I may have given her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe. It's a stretch, but I do give principle of charity. But taken holistically with everything else that she says later on, there's no possible way that was the case. And that is why I'd asked her, did you ever believe it to be the case? Did you ever believe that I had done anything? Did I threaten anybody? Did I commit any crimes? Did I talk to Nat? Did you ever believe this? This is what I want to know because it's important. Right? All right. And by the way, there are people that haven't seen this. And again, remember Kay was saying I gave waxy pushback. But we never accused Katie of not giving waxy pushback. I don't think it was sufficient, but whatever, that's an opinion. But she did not give Katie Joy any pushback. At least none that I saw. So let's continue.
It was not a fake screenshot. It was his real account. We verified it was his real account.
Okay, right there. We verified it was his real account. First of all, who's we? And I like I said, I guarantee she didn't. I'm suing her because of this. Well, there's other things involved, obviously, as well. But this is one of the claims that I have in my lawsuit. Again, if you want to help support the GoFundMe, link is in the video description. And I hope after people watch this, they do want to support me on it because it is objectively the case that that Kay was full of crap on this. And that Katie was not in any way, shape, or form telling the truth. Because she couldn't verify something that did not happen. Right? So, yeah, that's just crap. And by the way, later on, I think even somebody said, well, there was a fake account pretending to be me. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's irrelevant. Even if it was a fake account, it wasn't me. Right? Because I have no idea if that's the case or not. Because I've also heard that people went in and hacked and removed all this evidence, supposedly. What a bunch of shite. I mean, come on. I mean, who believes that shit? You know how many times I've been hacked? None. And people don't like me on the internet. There's some people that don't like me on the internet. I know it's hard to believe, but there are people out there that have been harassing and trolling me and memeing my daughter and myself and making fake accounts pretending to be me. But you know how many times people have been hacked? Now, I'm not saying that there haven't been people trying to do certain things. Right? I had just the other day, I had somebody try for some reason in Dallas get into my Facebook. I got one of those alerts. Is this you? I'm like, I'm not in Dallas right now. So it wasn't me. I've had people, trying to do that kind of stuff, but I have 2-party authentication. Plus I have very strong passwords. It's not hard to take certain steps not to get hacked. And if you're not using 2-party authentication, yeah, you probably should. Right? And you're not using strong passwords that have all alphanumeric characters. And don't use password for your password. Right? I mean, come on. So, yeah, I mean, I find when people say they've been hacked, it puts the hairs in the back of my neck up. I'm like, well, is it possible that somebody, when they mean by password hacking, yeah, maybe. Some people, it can happen. Sure. I'm not saying that can't, but it's not as prevalent as people make it. And it's certainly not as convenient either. Oh, well, I have the evidence it was Steve, but somebody hacked. Oh, come on.
She was lied to by them when they found out that he was threatening her. It's my belief that they got nervous that she would say something.
Okay, let's listen to that narrative right there. I've never spoken to Nat. I don't know how she got involved. I don't know why the hell she was involved in the Towdy case. I don't know this person. I have never talked to this person. Why would I be concerned about anything relating to what she was saying to the Toddy case. I didn't care. I didn't care about the Toddy case. I was like, yeah, cool. You know, she's being sued $5 million, but I didn't know about the issues. don't know much about Halo or Swanson. I don't get involved with it. If you want to go watch the details, go watch Emily D. Baker. She breaks down all that stuff. It's nothing I have an interest in. That's why I didn't do much on it. Right? But where's my involvement with this person? How do I know this obscure person from UK? I don't get it. You know? And so what the hell are we getting nervous on? I mean, the whole narrative from start to finish is bullshit.
And they made her think she wasn't talking to him, but it was really his account. Okay, well,
that's what I was afraid of.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was afraid of. That is an implicit admission right there, Kay, that you were afraid it was me behind this stuff, and that you believe it. Or believed it. I don't know what the hell you believe now. You know. But look at the live chat. Yep, we knew it. Spicy Pizza says, yep, we knew it. Well, Spicy Pizza, you didn't know it because it wasn't true. And again, it'll either come out in front of a judge, jury, or arbitration, a lawsuit. And like I said, I do need some assistance with funding. So if you can, get the message out to people that can afford it, I would appreciate it because, I am, like I said, I went back to work to pay for this. That's how serious it is, because this was slanderous to me. This I can prove affected my numbers. I have the evidence from AdSense and Patreon. Right now, do I have to prove that? No, because it's defamation per se. But I can prove it, which means that there's called special damages. So, yeah, if you want to help me with that, I do appreciate it. GoFundMe link in the video description and pinned at the top. But look at that. Yep, we knew it. Suzanne Canadia or something says, knew it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You can't know something that is wrong. You can't know something that's not true. Now, has any of these people corrected that? Nope. I don't know these people, by the way. But have I had one or two people say, you know what, Steve, I did thought this at the beginning. I don't now, and I apologize. Yeah, I had a few. And you know what I do? I said, thank you. I accept it. Who had apologized the other day to me on something? I don't remember what it was, but somebody had apologized for something, which I thought was, very nice. They didn't really have to. It was something kind of small. But I was like, hey, I appreciate it. You apologize, and I appreciate it. Probably wasn't something that was really required, but, it's nice. I'll accept apologies if they're sincere. From most people. There are exceptions. All right, moving on. By the way, how many of you have not seen this video before with the live chat? And I especially say with the live chat. I know that people watched this video. And by the way, I did get this from somebody. If they wanted to say who it was, that's fine. I'm put it out there, but I'm not giving this out to anybody. Nobody else has this. That I'm aware of. I don't know, but I was given it. And this is something that has this live chat. The reason why we didn't want her to delete or edit the video was because of the historical record of the live chat. That's it. But how many of you have seen this with the live chat? If you press 1 if you have never seen this with the live chat. Press 1. Please let me know. All right, let's go.
See, and people told me I was nuts. So it's allegedly, Steve.
Oh, okay. People told me I was nuts. About what? You must have thought it was me, Kay, if people thought you were nuts. That goes along with your belief that Katie was telling you what you thought was the truth. And then she throws in allegedly. Like that somehow just conveniently negates the fact that no evidence was provided for you, Kay. Where was the pushback to her? She's like, oh, well, I gave pushback to Waxy. This isn't Waxy, Kay. This isn't Waxy. You all sitting there going, oh, well, I did get pushback to Waxy, which again, in my opinion, was minimal. Has nothing to do with the fact that you just blindly sat there and let this happen on your channel and accepted. And even I told you there's going to be legal action. I told you this. I don't bluff. This was before I had the complaint drafted and had Katie served. I was suing her for a bunch of stuff, and then this came out, and I included this in there, which was been going on for a long time. It's a pattern, right? Because my lawsuit can show a pattern of harassment, a pattern of dishonesty, a pattern of maliciousness. And this is absolute evidence of that. Yeah, I love it. Cheshire was like, people thought I was nuts, that it was, quote, allegedly. I continue on.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah, listen to how their tone there. Allegedly. Right? Allegedly. It makes it all better, right, Kay? All these allegations, criminal allegations that never happened. Allegedly. I'm sorry, that doesn't get you out of that. Then you have people like, I was right. No, you weren't. And then Billy Martin, that's one troll that's been around, I've seen around many times. Of course we all knew it. Really, Billy Martin, you knew it. Well, I throw the bullshit flag because we know that's all false now. We know that's all bullshit. So you couldn't have known it. And again, I want people to remember these names. I do. I want people to, when they see these names, every one of them that said they knew it, every one of them that said that I or Tina or Cheshire or Manya or Erin had done anything wrong, yeah, I want you to remember those names. Yeah. Yeah, there's some people putting ones in there, so some people haven't seen it. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I've known this the whole time.
Right there. Right there. I'm going to actually rewind that for a second because I want you all to hear that again.
That she would say something and they made her think she wasn't talking to him, but
maybe a little
it was
too
really
far.
his account.
It's coming up here.
That's what I was afraid of. See, and people told me I was nuts.
And then you have Donna.
So it's
Uni was right.
allegedly
Yeah, okay.
Steve.
Yeah.
Now listen.
Allegedly.
I mean, I've known this the whole time. And I think like people don't realize like it's hard because a lot of people have opinions about me and a lot of people have really vile opinions about me
I wonder
because
why.
of what he's done.
Yeah, right there because of what he's done. No, it's not what I've done. I've done nothing wrong. It's because what you have done. It's because you have made false allegations like you did in this video. That has been slanderous. That's why I'm suing. You have made slanderous remarks to Todd Chrisley. Who is suing you? You made slanderous remarks in the Kay Toddy case. Who is suing you for defamation? Or did? That's 3 defamation suits on one person. Now, does that prove that person defamed? No. But this does prove that it was not just mere allegations. When you say you know something, it's a little more than an allegation. You're saying, because to have knowledge, it must be true. And she didn't know it. She couldn't have known it. Why? Because it wasn't true. This was just a bullshit move to try to get me involved in things that I wasn't involved with. Yeah, and look at that live chat. And Erin and Tina, JJ says, by the way, I don't know that JJ. I know her and Rand have some issues. I know nothing about her. But I guess there's some things going on there too. And she's like, an Erin and Tina. And she's asking a question, like, question marks. I mean, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt on that, because, everybody was kind of looped in on that. Oh, yeah, it's Tina too. I've never seen Tina do anything that was unethical. Matter of fact, she probably would like cry and be very distraught if she did do something ethical. And I don't mean that pejoratively. I mean, she really would be upset if she did something unethical. I just don't think she could handle doing something unethical. She's not the kind of person. She's one of the most ethical people I know. She wants things that are based upon facts and evidence. And I'm very similar. I would be very upset if I go, God damn it, I did something unethical. It would gnaw at me until I corrected it. And I'm pretty damn sure Tina's the exact same way. And probably Erin too.
And the lies that he has spewed about me and this cult of women he's preyed on. I feel really bad for the women that he's done this to.
Okay, let's check that out. By the way, DashX says, but why would they choose this random girl in the UK? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, where did this random person in the UK come from? I don't know. DashX, that's a great question. But she says, oh, look at the preying on women. What? The 3 other women, I think it was 3 other women she had mentioned. And let's review them. She had mentioned Mel the scientist, who I have no affiliation with, that I do not have anything to do with because I think that they're dishonest. But Mel never said I did anything like sexual harassment. She thinks that criticism is harassment. It's not, but I have nothing to do with Mel. She also said I sexually harassed Fiona. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. Just think about that. No, come on. I mean, just what? And even she denied it. Fiona's like, no. And then she said I sexually harassed Laura, who, as I knew her as Clef Jumper years ago before she transitioned. That's the only time I knew Laura. And I can tell you right now, I never sexually harassed Cliff Jumper. But those are the 3 women that she was referring to when she was talking about this, who he's done this to. Bullshit. What cult? Most of my audience is women, and this is what she knows. And she's like, okay, well, if I can make an enmity between Steve and, his fan base who are a lot of women, making him out to be this, person that sends threats to people, then I'm going to do so. That's what I personally believe have happened. Because I can tell you right now, I never sent a single email to Nat or to Katie. And Katie had actually alleged that I had sent her an email threatening her that she better make a video. That never happened. I have exculpatory evidence to show that wasn't the case. That's not made public yet. But I want it out there eventually. But I was told by my lawyers, no, wait for that to go in front of discovery, in front of a jury. That's what you want in front of a jury. Because if I can show she lied about that, that's my case. Again, I don't have the burden to do that. She has the burden to show that her claims had some verticality to them, that there's truthfulness to them, right? Because I'm suing her for defamation. Because it's objective, she made the claims. But I can show that that was not the case. I know how it came about she made that video. And there was no threats involved. So when she said I threatened her to make an apology video, I have damn well 100% exculpatory evidence to show that was not the case. And if you're somebody that I trust, I'll show it to you. I have showed it to people. They know what I'm talking about. Anybody in the live chat out there that they know what I'm talking about? Because it does exist. I'm not bluffing. All right, so here we go.
In a way, because a lot of them are just, they're in a vulnerable place in their lives. Some of them have, they're struggling in something.
To whom is she referring to?
You can mute your mic when you have to cough, Lovey.
Oh, that's common sense. I'm not sure if I'm capable of such things.
A lot of the people just assume that, it's just a lot of the women that got involved, they were fed lies.
Like
and
what?
They
like who?
hated me because of something else.
Okay. They were fed lies. I'm not going to say that everything that's been said about Katie is true. It has not been the case. There's nothing about anybody that's 100%, right? But there are people that disliked her long before I came around. Long before. I was just outspoken. I was one of the OG outspoken critics of the things that she was saying. This is why I 100% convinced I had a TRO on me to silence me. I am absolutely convinced of that. If you go read my blog, I put that very clear out there. That is my belief 100%. Right? But who the hell else she's talking about? Because I couldn't venture a guess who the hell she's talking about with this. Unless she's talking about maybe Cheshire. Am I manipulating Cheshire? I don't know. Because I can tell you right now, Cheshire is not easily manipulated, I'm sure. Sarah G. Oh, that's another troll out there. Quote, it was Steve McRae. There was no alleged. Yeah, that didn't work out for you too well. Now, did it, Sarah G? Now you know that's bullshit. You just don't care. Right? See, this is why we don't have the live chat. Because the live chat adds context and criticism in here. And it adds to the fact that, oh, wait, they are saying it was Steve. There was no alleged. Kay didn't give any of these people backlash. She didn't give any of them rebuttals. She didn't address anything in the live chat there. Yeah. So.
I blocked them, or I, whatever. A lot of it's I blocked them, or I, didn't like their rude comment and I snapped back or something, And
I want to ask Nat a question just really quick. And I think, Katie, this will be an important question for you to hear the answer to as well.
I'm going to speed this up because that's what BX Fix Boy, but we'll get it.
Nat,
in
can you hear me?
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago.
In my camera.
Yeah.
Then I don't phone up. Okay.
A couple weeks ago, not getting into the details of what happened between Katie and Preacher Boy, because that's moot. We don't care about that stuff right now.
Yeah.
But I know that there was an email sent to Preacher Boy that was supposedly from you. Can you confirm that that was not from you?
Okay, I don't know how it went from like that to Preacher Boy. I don't no idea. I don't know anything about Preacher Boy. But like Irish Badass says, Kay Baxter, if he's proven to be true, then he violated the court order and arrangement they had. Can you ask Katie Joy that? Which she does. But here's the thing. There was no violation. I know exactly what the NDA said. I was never at any time in violation of the NDA. I was very clear. My voice was very clear on what I can and cannot do. And in no time did I violate anything. Nope. Matter of fact, people didn't even know what the hell was even in it. And fun fact, we know now that I'm not the only person that NDAs were talked about, that she wanted NDAs for TROs with. Right? I wanted to go to trial. I told my lawyer, I'm ready to go. I wanted to have my day in court. But I listened to my lawyer, And my lawyer said, look, no, you don't want to do that because if you're going to sue her or she's going to sue you, anything in that can be used in that defamation, even if it's out of context kind of stuff. And he's like, don't worry about this. We'll get this, we'll have them dropped. Then you can pursue legal action as far as a civil tort. Right? Not for the fact that she filed a false TRO, but some of the things she alleged in there, she alleged other places. Right? And so I was like, okay, I don't care. I can go a year without like being pejorative to Katie. In fact, people were like, oh, Steve can't even talk about Katie. Then they read the NDA after I released it, like, oh shit, that wasn't in there. No kidding. People were lying about that. People probably lied about that. I could have talked about Katie anytime I wanted. I just couldn't be pejorative. I couldn't be derogatory is the term, or demeaning of stature. Doesn't mean I couldn't criticize some of the things she says as far as being incorrect. My lawyer is very straightforward. He's like, look, if she's saying something that is not factual, you have every right to defend yourself. The NDA is not violated. But I didn't even bother to even do that. But you had people saying, Steve said Katie's name. So what? You know how big of an issue that became? Oh, look, Steve said Katie's name. People would listen to my streams 24/7. Whenever it was on, they would have people, I think my personal opinion, people were like, oh, look, does Steve talk about Katie? Does Steve talk about Katie? Not knowing that I could have at any time. And I even said, I could say her name. I was right. I know what the hell I'm talking about when it came to my own legal stuff, at least most of the time. But I was proven to be right. The NDA did not say anything what they said about me not being able to talk about her.
What email?
The email that was sent to Preacher Boy from an account presenting themselves as you.
So I'm just going to fast forward to this.
I sent one to Katie, sorry. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, she emailed him.
Okay, so we are confirming that she did send that email.
Yeah, she did. I don't know if it was an email or a DM. I think it was an Instagram.
No, I didn't send an email.
Yeah, I think it was.
I sent Instagram messages. You got all of them. I gave them to you.
It was
I gave them to Tulps.
Yeah, I just wanted there to be clarity with that, so that we all knew what the truth of that situation was. Nobody can accuse Katie of lying anymore about it, because the truth has come out.
All right. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that situation. I'm not even going to weigh in it. So whatever. So somebody had asked, Shade had asked, True Ball of Wax, is Steve threatening you too? Really? How is Waxy threatened by anything? How? Please tell me how. Poor Waxy. Okay.
I didn't send him an email.
Was Waxy the victim?
Send him a DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were DMs on Instagram. He sent me one first, and we had a conversation.
Okay.
I've got the messages. Obviously, Salts has got them.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't need to know. We don't need to hear him or anything like that. I think we've all kind of seen them. I just want clarity on
I
that.
don't know what the hell this has to do with anything.
Ira said, if that's proven to be true, then Steve, I think she's referring to, violated the court order agreement that you had. Can you ask Katie that?
I can't speak to specifics about any of that, to be honest.
Because there's nothing to speak to.
And at this point, we're exploring all legal options.
Oh, are you now? And what became of that? What are the legal options when I didn't violate anything? And I'm the one that initiated the lawsuit for defamation. Yeah. Okay, let's go with that.
I can't disclose a lot.
There's nothing to disclose because everything.
Because I don't want to lay out my cards,
which she always does, anyways. But look, all people were asking for was evidence of the allegations that I was talking to Nat, that I threatened her, right? And I can tell you right now, she didn't provide anything like that in the lawsuit. Her counter, her rejoinder, her whatever the hell, right? Her response and her counter, not in there, right? Nope. She only accused me of 3 things in her lawsuit, and that was not part of it. And she didn't provide any exculpatory evidence of anything. She didn't provide any evidence that I did anything of the sort in her lawsuit counter claim to me. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why is that? I mean, if she is going to defend herself because she had made these claims, which is objectively the case that she had made these claims, and they are subjectively going to be evaluated if it meets the criteria for defamation, which I think overwhelmingly it does. Well, every lawyer that I've talked to that is honest has said that it does. Right? And I know a lot of legal people. I know legal people. Yeah, why didn't she say, oh, yeah, here's the evidence. Here's where here's Steve's, emails. Steve's, what do they call it? Attacks or what? No, not attacks. What Steve's threats. That's what I'm looking for. Because that's the word she used. Threats. She was threatened. Nat was threatened. Where? She mentions it one time, and I'm not even fronting with you. Her idea of a threat, this was in her response, which hasn't been released yet, but I will tell you what's part of it that's in there. Her idea of a threat, supposedly, was that, quote, I was not going to take her off my radar. How is that a threat? That when you say you threaten somebody, there better be a threat involved. Saying that you're on my radar or not on my radar is not a fucking threat. It just means I'm paying more attention to what is being said. That is what she has alleged a threat is. Saying that something about, I'll be on my radar, which is, by the way, fun fact, wasn't exactly what is even said. Right? I actually was the first person to mention, hey, thank you for doing this, for apologizing, and you're not going to be on my radar, which is a Navy term. That's the first usage of that. There was no threat involved. Interesting. So.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about.
Let me stop. Again, I'm going to play 10 minutes of this. So we got 5 minutes left of this video. And this video is a lot longer than expected. I apologize, but I think it's important. Yeah, there was stuff going on behind the scenes. One of which that I don't think Katie realizes, I was also talking to Saltsy. Yeah. People know that. And what's going on doesn't jive what Katie says. It just, there's no meshing there. Yeah, not at all. So what does she think was going on behind the scenes? Because it certainly wasn't involving me, because I was talking to Saltsy as well. Saltsy was asking my opinion on things. Right? Saltsy wasn't accusing me of anything. Saltsy was actually cordial to me. You know, he actually seemed at the time that he was concerned, a little bit about the non sequitur case. I don't mean concern isn't bad, but I mean just interested. You know, he wanted to know how things were going with Kyle, and that, if Kyle was going to go to jail. He seemed interested in it. And, I've been talking to Saltsy. He asked me, my opinion on some of the things going on with the, quote, hacking and stuff. But I wasn't under an investigation with Saltsy. So what the hell was she talking about? Or was anything else? What was going on behind the scenes? Because I would like to know what she's talking about. Because all this time later, nothing's came out on that. Interesting.
So it's hard. I see a lot of chatter online, and I can't say a lot of, like, you see me talking about stuff, and I'm really frustrated and irritated that people keep saying that I'm unhinged because I'm tweeting. Twitter is like the worst platform because honestly, you only have 240 characters, and I have a lot to say, and there's a lot.
Yeah, and I'm going to give that to her. I'm not going to disagree with that. Twitter is a shit platform, and things are taken out of context on Twitter. A lot. I get that. Okay? But as Vicky Clark says, but you mentioned Steve. Yeah, going back to that. But the allegations were about me. And by the way, they were never retracted by anybody in this hangout. Not one. Then you have the wonderful Shen's panty liner, the female unirock. Is it really that hard to believe that man stalked her for over a year? Yeah. Now I will admit Shen has changed her position. Right? I will give her that. She has changed her position, and she has said, you know what? It is now out there, and she is absolutely convinced that I had nothing to do with anything. Props to her. I'll give Shen's that one. But that's sure the hell what she was saying back then. And I don't recall Shen's apologizing to me. I know she did a video with I think it was I Was Badass or somebody else, but I don't recall her actually giving me an apology, but that's fine. I don't care. She did revise. She amended her claim. She amended things. She's allowed to do that. But here's that live chat. This is when Shen, this is why people call her flip-flopper, because she's always, people can amend, but she just goes back and forth on a lot of things. But here she is out there. Is it really hard to believe that man stalked her for over a year? Yeah, absolutely hard. Never stalked anyone. I don't even watch her shit. I don't watch Katie's videos. How can I stalk her? What am I stalk her on? I haven't messaged her since 2019. 2
lot
years.
Of people that are doing stuff. And so I think it's really disingenuous after so much abuse that I've been put through with having police reports, fraud reports, CPS at my house. My husband reported to unemployment fraud.
Yeah. And you know what? I believe some of those things that happen. Do you know am I involved with any of that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've never talked to anybody that has said they're going to report or wanted to, or I have never been in a hangout with that. I have never talked and said, oh, report this person or that. Never. I would denounce that kind of shit. So why is my name attached to any of that? If you're somebody that reported her for whatever reason that you think right or wrong, okay, justify it. But I do think people misuse the system. I do think people call unfairly, and that shit's got to stop. And people would have asked my opinion, I would have given it. I would have denounced it. And I would not associate with people that I think use those things as a weapon. Now, do I think some people may have called with honest intent? Yes. I think there was that as well. I think there are people that actually care and that probably did call with honest intent. Do I think they should have? No. No, I don't. Do I think that Katie has any time abused her child? No, I don't. Do I think there was ever a time to involve CPS? No, I don't. But nobody's ever asked me for those opinions from that side. Nobody's ever said, hey, Steve, do you think somebody should have called CPS? I would have given you my opinion. I've never been asked that from that side. Right? Nobody said that. They're just somehow throwing my name with these other people that done all this stuff when I had nothing to ever do with any of that kind of stuff. Nor would I. But why can't people just ask me questions? I mean, I keep on telling people, just ask me. You know? I'm not going to get offended if you say, hey, Steve, people are, saying this, I just want to know, is there anything they could have taken out of context? That way you're not accusing me, right? You're not saying, hey, Steve, did you do any of these things? Because I will take that a little bit as accusatory. I get that. But one way to word that is, hey, is there anything you might have done that people could have construed or misconstrued out of context? That's an entirely different question. I'll be like, let me think about that, right? And no, because I never have called anything. I've never called any agency on anybody. Not one. I had people call on me. Why? Because of what Kyle said. That was their reasoning. Oh, I called the FBI because what Kyle said. Oh, I called Medicare because what Kyle said. No evidence. That's a waste of resources. So I know what Katie's talking about, people making these dishonest, trollish calls. I get it. I've been there. I've had people done it on me. But I've never done it, nor have I associated with anybody that does. And if I found out that they have and it wasn't justified, I would be upset. Now, if it's justified, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, like, for example, like Erin, talking about Katie's, rape from years ago and things of that nature, and the police officer and all that stuff. I think Erin had good intent on that. I said personally, I wouldn't have. I don't do background checks on people, but there's reasons why Erin did, and I think they're justified from her perspective. She didn't do anything wrong. Now, other people would say, well, maybe it was too much. Okay, that's your opinion, right? But again, that's a subjective opinion. But Erin certainly knows that I had nothing to do with any of that. I've been accused of, Erin and Steve conspired to get these records. No, I didn't know about it till well after the fact. And Erin has said that. But again, I think a lot of these people in the live chat here don't give a shit about that. And then Spicy Pizza says, I'm a former mod of yours. I remember the harassment you received back when non sequiturs happened. Do you need anything? Yeah, what harassment? The fact she was lying, Spicy Pizza? The fact she accused me of committing fraud, right? And Social Security fraud, which I've never collected. Disability fraud, which I never collected. Right? Medical fraud, it never happened. I mean, what harassment are you referring to? I'm sorry, but people asking for evidence of claims is not harassment. So I don't know what the hell you saw, Spicy Pizza, but I don't believe for a second you saw harassment. And if it was, it certainly wasn't from me, and that's all that matters. It wasn't from me, and so why is my name being dragged into it? I continue on. So I'm going to try to get 5 minutes of this video.
Having the police here 4 times, 4 CPS reports, continued threats daily for anyone to call me.
And I opened it, denounce all that. Absolutely.
I'm feeling like I can
whether she's unhinged or not,
use my
no
voice
comment.
And share what I know, and somehow that makes me unhinged. And I just think that's just an ugly narrative.
I think what people make the comment she's unhinged is the fact that she has said the same allegations about me that she has for how many other people? How many people has she claimed destroyed her life? I mean, you can go back to Jesse Starr. And by the way, I have all this in evidence of every time she's accused somebody of destroying her life. She's accused Jeffree Star. She's accused Todd Chrisley. She's accused unveiling the masks. She's accused me. She's accused, I think, even Cheshire. I think I have somewhere where she's like Cheshire is like trying to destroy her channel or something like that. That one I have to recall exactly the verbatim. But the other ones, yes, I have all that. I have actually in a Google Doc of all the times she has accused people, and it's not, these are names I don't even know, right? That to me is a little unhinged, personally, in my opinion, right? And I think that's what they're referring to, because when you're making all these allegations and all the time they're false, that's a problem. Now, what she's trying to do is say, look, here's some people that did this. Okay, that we'll go with that. That's true. Listen. Let's bring in all these other people that have nothing to do with it. That's the dishonesty. Oh, is it Jesse Starr? That was Jeffree Star. No, it's Jeffree Star. Did I say Jesse Starr? Jeffree Star. Yeah. I don't know these people. I don't have anything to do with it. All right. Let's continue.
Well, that's a common thing to do to women.
Women.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait. What, Kay? Let me process this. A common thing to do to women. Why just women? Where is the gender having to do a fuck all with any of this? That's just... I really hate when people involve race or gender when it doesn't have any applicability, because now you make it very hard for the cases where there are racism and sexism. Because there's absolutely no reason to point that out whatsoever. Because the fact that she alleges things that are not true is not based upon her gender at all.
It is. And I've watched people do it to Irish once. And I said, all they want is to be heard. And if you feel like you're not being heard, then you're going to repeat it over and over.
Well, and it's not even that. It's just people don't know how much I know. Like, because I don't talk about it.
Okay, and by the way, Julie even says, and I think Julie may have revised a bit too. Julie Vertical says, nah, it's no really that hard to believe. Yeah, well, Julie's, probably did believe at one time that I was involved in this stuff. And I don't think she does now. I think she's amended it, and I got no beef with Julie if she has. Right? I talked to Julie. But I think at one time she did believe it. Right? But I think people are allowed to amend things. And that's why I want to know if Katie once believed, not somebody Katie, Kay believed it or not. I want to know if Katie actually believed it or not. Because that is relevant to her mindset in all this. Because Kay was going around, I didn't say anything. I didn't accuse Steve of anything. Well, this video portion right here just has a different context to that, Kay. Because it surely, right here, you are agreeing with Katie wholeheartedly. Right? You're like, oh, I knew it, and blah, 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 and, well, there you go, and, it was what I feared, that kind of stuff. Those are all tantamount to you passively agreeing with her. Whether you like it or not, that's how it is viewed, and that's what I believe. Right? So, continue on.
I have purposely been very clear about not talking about certain people, because this person has been so awful to me for 2+ years, making my life hell.
How have I done? And by the way, notice though they're talking about me, right? And Katie's not giving any pushback. Katie's giving no pushback on any of this. So when she says that she wasn't involved, bullshit flag. Kay, you are to your neck deep involvement in this, because you are not giving Katie any pushback on your platform, and you have not revised it. You have not apologized. You have not amended it. Nothing. Right? And so, yeah, again, how have I made her life hell? That by the way, that if you go back and read the TRO stuff on Erin's channel, because she has all the evidence and she has the complaint and all that other stuff, you can see how much was fabricated. You can see how much she lied. And I'm going to use the word lied because that's what it was, in my opinion. When you say that I have texted you with threats, and I have not, that is a lie. When you say I have called you, that is a lie. When you say that I have emailed you, and with threats, those are lies, because I've never emailed at all anything. Those are lies. When you try to get a TRO on somebody and you put the whatever they call the person the TRO is on, such and such, called or send threat text messages to persons. That's a lie, because that never happened, right? So where is this long... Criticism is not harassment. My videos never harassed her. My videos addressed things that she had said about me, which have now been well established to be bullshit. Well established. So was I not right to defend myself all this entire time? Was I not right to go, hey, wait a minute here. These allegations Katie's making about fraud and malfeasance and medical fraud and Social Security and disability and harassment, all this stuff. Yeah, I don't have a right to defend myself? Because I believe that I do. And that's all it was. But she was trying to rope me, Tina, Erin, Cheshire, Kim, and a bunch of other people in this one weird kind of group thing that had nothing to do with anything that was going on with Nat and the rest of them. Absolutely freaking nothing. Now, I know that Tina had talked to Nat once or twice, and I understand that, and I know the reasoning. And of course, I wholeheartedly believe that Tina had the best intentions. But what's that got to do with me? Tina could tell you that I've never spoken to Nat. Erin could tell you I've never spoken to Nat. So.
Don't want to talk about that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I just say, like,
she agrees with her.
My interaction with him was bad. Like, I told Kate today that I'm kind of worried for her, and I'm worried for her safety.
Okay, let's listen to that. There's all of a sudden, and by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Nat claims that she was talking to Katie in the background during this. Now, again, I don't know if that's true or not. I can't give any credence to what Nat has said. I always thought personally that there was communication going on between Nat and Katie. I do believe this. Personal opinion, can't prove it, not going to try to justify it by giving you evidence for that. I can't. But it would make sense if they were. And Nat has said that they were, as I understand. So there is a little bit of justification for my belief on that. However, Nat is just saying that her experience really was bad, but she's never talked to me. There was no experience, and nobody asked her for evidence of that. And she told Katie that earlier. Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. Sex Addict says, it's amazing how Steve does all this stuff, and yet I've never seen anything in the last 2 years. LOLs. Yeah, and Sex Addict has been around a long time. You've been around years and years and years and years. I mean, we're talking G plus GDC days. There's a lot of people around from those days that just don't. George Nutek, he's been around for a very long time. And maybe people can catch George up. There's a lot to do. But yeah, people know. Well, where's the evidence? Because I'm happy to address stuff if people bring it to my attention. I had somebody sea-lying the other day. That person, TT, who I just as an agent provocateur of an utmost degree, but I have never blocked them. But TT was saying, can you address these claims that Roadhog was making? Sure. Which ones? You know which ones. No, I don't. Tell me which ones and I will address it. Oh, don't play stupid, blah, 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 whatever. So I was saying, look, I'm not here to play games. If you have something you want me to address, I will talk about it. You can do it in the live chat right now. You can call me on any of my shows. Right? I don't avoid those kind of questions. But I'm not psychic, and I don't know what the hell you're referring to. Because some things were addressed, and I'm not going to revisit things that have already been addressed, or things I'm not aware of that I can't know. But that's what I mean by dishonest agents. If you're not willing to give me a direct, question or things of that nature, then why do I need to bother with you? And by the way, there was a tweet that I actually can't find, but I remember there being a tweet of me saying to Kay something like, I'm coming to you as an adult. I'm approaching this as an adult, and I don't remember where it was at. If somebody can search for it, maybe, but I'm damn well positive. I even said to her, look, I'm trying to have an adult conversation with you, Kay. So where is this narrative that, I was like harassing Kay or anything on that?
And I reported it straight away. Like, please do.
Oh, wait. Shen's panty liner. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I take Katie with a grain of salt, but I don't think she would risk everything and say it was Steve if she didn't see proof and verify it. Well, guess what, Shens? She did. That's why I'm suing her. She did risk it all. She did risk it all, because if I can get something out of it, I'm going to. If I can get house, if I can get, whatever, I'm trying to stay in this as long as I possibly can to show, in a legal sense, that she lied about this stuff. Because I want it on record. I mean, it's one thing to have a public opinion. I get that, and that's going to be fine as well. And even binding arbitration would work. But yeah, she did risk it because she does that frequently, in my opinion. She says a lot of things that we have verified to be not true. That's what Tina used to do, is just talk about her own words. And, Katie didn't seem to like that. A lot of content creators just do that. They just talk about what she says. And she doesn't seem to like that. All right. So, yeah, so Shen's panty liner, yeah, she did risk it. And Julie Virgo, of course, agrees with that. And again, I'm hoping Julie, and I think Julie has changed her position on that. I know Shen's has. And I still don't know what the hell Shen's so butthurt with me on. I really don't. I have no idea. The fact that I just think she's a flip-flopping agent provocateur that's the female version of Uni, yeah, I fully believe that. But what I do to her, no idea. No idea. Cheshire says, and if you did address something, then they would say, oh, you're just detracting. That isn't what I was talking about, and you know it. Yeah, I've heard that as well. That's is why I want people to be very explicit. I don't play their games. Right now, I have a live chat, 112 people. Ask a question. I'll answer it. Go ahead. Ask what you want to talk about.
They were already known. They knew in February.
Yeah, but I think that's a good part about speaking out, though, because people like that are smart enough to know once people have spoken out, should something happen, hello,
Oh, okay. Listen to what Kate has said. And he, by the way, she said he. Did you notice she said he and then she kind of changed that? Right? So she is saying, oh, look, some people are smart enough. Thank you. I am smart enough to know certain things, I believe. That once people start being spoke out, she thinks all of a sudden, wait, this non-existent cult, this non-existent group, this non-existent narrative, which stop doing what? Stop doing what they weren't doing to begin with? That doesn't mean people are going to stop being critical of people. That's not going to stop having criticisms or pointing out when somebody's lying or says something you don't agree with. That shouldn't stop. But since none of this stuff was actually ever true, there's nothing to stop there. But you notice Kay isn't giving any pushback. Kay is like, oh, yep, people are smart enough to, she was completely talking about me. Oh, a tree feline may have found something. Let me check here. Putting my mods to work. I appreciate it, mods, very much so. Thank you. Yes, that's the one I'm referring to. Thank you. So let me show this real quick. I thought there was. I couldn't find it. Hang on. Do it again. So Twitter, you never know what comes up on Twitter. There we go. I say, Kay, well, let me read the one above so you have it in context. I'm not the one that said it. Your anger is misplaced. I was the one telling people not to throw out allegations without proof. And then, again, sub-threads, right? I say, Kay, I'm really, and I use those little asterisks. That means bold, right? Sometimes I'll actually make it bold, but I use asterisks as well if I'm lazy. Trying to speak to you as a content creator, a virtue ethicist, and as an adult. As an adult. Right? Show me where this was demanding of anything of her. Show me that I was being mean to her. I said, you agreed with it. Well, there you go. It's just an implicit agreement. I'm not angry. I am disgusted. You can't see you are being unethical here and avoiding taking responsibility. Does that sound like me being mean? Does that sound like me being hostile to her? If it is, I don't see how. You're welcome to your opinion on that, by the way. These that's tweets for August 13th. Yeah, from after August 13th, I don't think I ever said anything to Katie. It's not Katie, to Kay until just recently. I did tag her just recently in a question. I said, I have one question for you, Kay, and I did tag her in that. But I don't think there's anything in between. Has there been? But yeah. So this bullshit of, oh, there was harassment. Yeah, you're so full of crap. That's why I want the record to be intact, because when people run these narratives, it proves them to be dishonest.
Oh.
Like what
sometimes speaking out makes you safer.
What he's done is he's created an echo chamber of people that believe lies about me that are.
Oh, really? Oh, that believe lies about you? Like what? What lie is that they believe? I'm curious. I'll be happy to have that discussion. Who out there is happy to believe a lie? Right? And then you notice Shen's panty liner. Steve told Katie he would burn her channel to the ground 2 years ago at all costs. Really? That's not what I said, Shens. Again, the inability to get things contextually correct is staggering with Shens, because that's not what I said. Katie's been running that narrative for years. I know exactly what I said. And what, by the way, I wasn't even talking about Katie's channel. I was talking about atheist channels. And I didn't say I would burn them to the ground. What I said is I would let them burn themselves to the ground. And same thing with Katie's channel. I let people write their own, future. If you want to lie and you want to have your channel burned to the ground because you're lying, you're dishonest, go for it. But I never said that. I never said I'm going to burn somebody's channel to the ground at all costs. That wasn't what was said. And if I did say something like that, then it's not really what I meant, but I certainly don't remember saying that, oh, I'm going to go burn your channel to the ground. No, what I do remember saying, which I do have in evidence, which I have in a folder, was me saying something along the lines of, I'll let them burn their channel to the ground. And also on audio and video, I have that as well. Me saying that if they want to burn their channel to the ground, or atheists can burn their, I don't care if they have, I said something along the lines of, I don't care if it ends up them burning their channels to the ground, or if they burn something along those lines, right? It wasn't me actively doing that, but even if I did, so what? Look, I mean, look, if somebody says, look, I'm going to go after your channel and burn to the ground because you lie, okay, whatever. Whatever. I don't care. Give it a shot. As long as you're doing it honestly. If you think that I'm doing stuff dishonestly, knock yourself out. As long as you're not false reporting, right? But yeah, Shens, that was taken out of context. But again, we all know that Shens doesn't seem to really care about that. Although again, I will give her credit. She did change her position. She realized I didn't have anything to do with anything.
Aren't true. And he's basically convinced people I'm a narcissistic, danger to society.
Okay. Two things on that. One, that was, people convinced that long before I came along, I think. Long before I came along. I wasn't the one that convinced anybody of anything on that. But when she said she was a danger to society, that's actually in my lawsuit as well, I believe. Because that's not what I said. She put that on the TRO, that I said she was a danger to society. Nope. I have the original tweet. It was what I said was she was she said it was an existential threat to society. Right? That she was an existential threat. But what I said was she was an existential threat to the community as far as her false flagging. And then I actually had an example in the tweet of a false DMCA. And I do believe that when you are falsely DMCAing content creators, that is a threat to all content creators, and existential ones, because they can lose their channel. That means to exist, by the way. She spelled it, she got the word wrong in her complaint. She didn't say existential. She said extensional, I think, or something. But it wasn't existential. But I know what she meant. But when I said that somebody's an existential threat to content creators, I mean that because when you're false flagging them, they're a threat to your channel, existing or not. I never said to society, but see how that was changed? See how context matters? And Erin pointed that out in her her video when she went over that TRO report, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
He's literally the one person that pushed that my son was abused, that he...
Oh, really? Citation, please. I can tell you I have probably a dozen times have said that I don't think for a second Katie has abused her child. So how am I the one person who says that she had when I've never said that? Now, do I think other people have said that? Yes. Have I called them out on it? Yep. Sure have. I think people that think that she has abused her child is barking up the wrong tree. Yep. I am fully capable of saying what I believe. And you know what? I've never believed for a second that. Now, do I think she's a wonderful parent? Nope. That's my opinion. But I've certainly never said that she abused her child. So how am I the one person who said that? That's her claim. That requires some evidence. She accused me of abusing her child. That's part of my lawsuit. She accused me of abusing her child when I have never met her child in my life. Interesting.
He wasn't sick, that I had Munchausen's by proxy. He's the one...
Oh, wait, another thing right there. No, actually, I was the one that said I don't think that she has Munchausen by proxy. I have the tweet that says I do not believe that she has Munchausen by proxy. Other people are trying to convince me of that. One person did make a pretty interesting argument about a form of Munchausen that I wasn't unaware of, but I haven't weighed in on that. But I did say I don't believe it. That was not me that said that. That was, I believe, Leslie Bass, if I'm not mistaken, was claiming that she has Munchausen by proxy. But even if she did, so what? She's allowed to have that opinion. People can say, I'm not a medical professional, but in my opinion, I think this is the case. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not slander. That's not libel. That's not defamation. That is opinion. Right? But I wasn't the one saying that. No, Cheshire, you cannot go grocery shopping. You're one of the few mods I have. Stay here, you're fired. Now, of course, go grocery shopping. It's Thanksgiving. I don't want people watching this anyways. It's Thanksgiving, but I really don't expect it about 5 people watching and then people watching later if they wanted. But I appreciate it. Get your day, something to watch and listen to in the day. I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon because it's going on 3 hours. But I say that 5 hours from now. All right. So, like Kimberly here says, Kimberly Roddy Mom says, screenshots or didn't happen. Exactly. Thank you.
And his little group, like, cultivated that lie. They also cultivated the lie that I neglected my son because I have a job.
How am I involved in that? I have never cultivated any such bullshit. I've never been in a group that has done that. Never. Has anybody, mods included, have I ever been in a group or said anything of the sort to run that kind of bullshit narrative? And if you disagree with me, I'm taking away your mods. No. Tell me. Show me when that ever happened. I had nothing to do with any of that stuff.
They cultivated the lie that I lied about things that he said to me, that I took out a false TRO,
that wasn't a lie. That has been demonstrated without question. Now, again, I can't say it's subjective, whatever. But subjectively speaking, beyond a preponderance of evidence, I would even say beyond a reasonable doubt, go watch Erin's video on that. Yes, it was blatant that she had taken things and twisted them to get what I consider to be what we call a false TRO. Because she had said things that weren't true, like we were in a room together when she was harassed. I've never been in a room with her. Never been in a room with her. I've never been in the same state with her. So how could she put in a TRO when the other host left the room to convince the judge that just looks at that and just says, okay, I'm going to grant a temporary one to have a hearing if there is one requested, because they don't look at any of the evidence until the hearing. Who has time for that? Judges don't look at shit until there's an actual hearing. Why? Because they don't need to, really. They look at the complaint, and there's a sufficiency on the complaint. Then you go into the discovery stage, right? You go into the evidential stage. And then they say, okay, what evidence are you going to produce at trial, right? And, like, for example, on my case, she wanted to have, like, I think it was 15 videos or something like that, not time-stamped, the entire video. And my lawyer was laughing. He was like, are you kidding me? My lawyer said, look, this judge has never let a TRO hearing go longer than 2 hours. He's certainly not going to let any of this evidence in, and certainly there's nothing in there that seems to be of any consequence. So none of that got entered in any evidence. Did you think a judge is going to listen to 15 hours of video or 15 videos? How many hours of video is that? No, that never happened. Never happened. And like I said, when somebody says, well, when the other host left the room, yeah, what do you think of? What do you think? That's all the judges are going by, that initial thing. What do you think they're going to think of? They're going to think that we're in the same state. Matter of fact, in her complaint to me, for some strange reason, she has alleged that I live in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Matter of fact, there was a Treat Feline that pointed that out to me because I missed that. I did. But in Treat Feline, is it not correct that in her complaint against me, she alleges that I live in Minnesota? Right? I'm not going to put the city. Well, I don't know. Should I put the city out? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Some city I never even heard of. That's in her complaint, that I live in, that I'm a resident of Minnesota in some city that I never heard of before. I'm guessing it was around 15 videos. I have to go back and look because it was just like exhibit numbers. It was like exhibit 70 something to 80 or whatever it was. But it's in that ballpark if you want a good idea. But again, there was no timestamp. There was nothing out of these videos. When I put things to my lawyer, I am fastidious in my details. People have seen my documentations. Like I have a couple Google Docs. I have like 5 Google Docs, maybe 6. And one of which is just like as everything. It's 130 pages long. 130 pages of documentation. Right? And Treat Feline says that is correct. That is what she has stated in her complaint. Yes. Yeah. Weird. I don't know what the hell that's even from. How the hell am I a resident of a state that I've never been in before? I would love to know that. I asked my lawyer that question. I haven't gotten a response. But I did ask. I was like, how the hell am I a resident of Minnesota? Especially from a city that I've never even heard of before. So I have never been to her state. I've never abused her child. I've never accused her of doing that either. Yeah. So, continuing.
I stole his channel.
Oh,
Like, I didn't do
can I rewind that a little bit? Let's see here.
like I didn't do any of those things. He's literally like the one person that pushed that my son was abused, that he wasn't sick, that I had Munchausen's by proxy.
Evidence.
He's the one and his little group like cultivated that lie. They also cultivated the lie that I neglected my son because I have a job.
Evidence.
They cultivated the lie that I lied about things that he said to me, that I took out a false TRO, that I stole his channel.
There you go, right there.
Like, I didn't do any of the...
That she stole my channel. Okay, you all have been around for a very long time. Who stole my channel? Oh, I believe that was a guy named Kyle Curtis. When the hell did I ever accuse Katie of stealing my channel? I would like evidence on that. This is what I'm saying. She's on a different channel. She's on Kay's channel with a different group of people that probably have never even heard of me, making these allegations. And there was not a single bit of pushback from Kay on it. All right, Chess, good. Thank you. Have a safe and happy how do you say turkey again? Whatever. Happy Turkey Genocide Day. Was I can't say the word. Oh, Meliagris. That's what it is. Meliagris. I'm sorry. Meliagris means turkey. So yeah, so anybody out there tell me when the hell did I ever accuse Katie of stealing my channel? Because that's a bullshit lie. But again, the people watching this, they don't know that. They just hear what she says and go with it. You know, they're like, okay, she says it must be true.
Those things. And then all of these other things where he's literally called me like a malignant narcissist. Like,
I'm not allowed to have my opinion? Yeah, that's an opinion. That's not defamation.
He's one of the most narcissistic humans I've ever met in my entire life.
Well, then you don't know a lot of people. I still don't know what people mean with me when it comes to that. If you want to think I'm a narcissist, that's fine. I would like to know why. I will ask, what criteria do I meet for that? Because I definitely am not. Matter of fact, people that do know me know that's the least thing I would possibly be. But that's projection to me, right? That is somebody who I believe does suffer from these things, which I've said is my opinion. But by the way, I'm not suing her for that. She can say what I know. She's allowed to call me a narcissist. Yes, she absolutely is allowed to. I'm not suing them for that. But I mean, she has said certain things that other people have said that she has to provide evidence for. There are other things about her saying that other people have said certain things about me that I believe are untrue, that she has to provide evidence for. But as far as her saying that, okay. But what the hell makes me a malignant narcissist? I don't think she's even heard of the term until it was brought up in regards to her.
See, that's what I said I've said this quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. I kept saying, who has the biggest axe to grind with Katie? Who?
Whoa. Well, there you have it. I'm going to use Kay's thing. Well, there you go. Who has the biggest axe to grind? Well, she's referring to me. Is she not agreeing with Katie at this point? I mean, is there any doubt in anybody's mind that she was some kind of passive person just saying, well, I just had them on and, you know, they were just talking. I just was being a neutral party. If you think that she was neutral, I really do question your ability to take anything in context. Because that is pretty blatant that she's referring to me, that she thinks I'm behind this because I have some axe to grind. All I ever want is the truth. That's all I ever want. So.
And, you know, what's the first name that comes to mind?
Well, there are going to be, like, I watch really boring stuff on YouTube, right? Like history stuff. People who should have, like, no drama or conflict. And there are people I see all the time in their comments that are just hateful for no reason. Yeah. There's always going to be haters. And when you cover controversial stuff, because, you know, the Duggar cult, the people who love Duggars, they love the Duggars.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm so used to having, like, that kind of stuff. But
okay. What does that have to do with me? I don't do anything with the Duggars. And I'm certainly not a hateful person. I've been fucked over more than anybody when it comes to the people on this panel. I've been lied about more than anybody. I have been harassed more than anybody. I mean, how am I not the victim? I've been falsely accused of so many different things that people know now was bullshit. Starting from Kyle Curtis, who eventually went to jail and was in jail for lying and still might go back. So where is this having to do with me? I've been vindicated 1,000 times over. Have I got an apology for anybody in this panel? Nope. Nope, I sure haven't. Kay could have. Waxy could have. Now, Waxy wasn't in this particular segment right here, but could she? Yeah, Waxy could have. I offered her. I said, and I say the word dude, non-gender specific, but it's just like, dude, all you gotta do is say, hey, you know what? I really messed up. I was given misinformation from a bunch of people, including Katie and Unirock or whoever, and I really apologize. Should have vetted it better. I said, thank you very much for that. Waxy, have a great day. Did I get that? Nope. Did I get anything like that from Kay? Nope. Kay never did. Matter of fact, Kay has doubled down just as much as Waxy has, if not triple down. So
this is not connected to that.
This is totally different. I see that.
Like, I'm not afraid. We call them the Duggar huggers. And
I've never watched a single episode of
Jeremiah
Duggars.
Duggar ain't bad looking. I'm just gonna say it. I'm a married woman, but
he's probably one of the better looking of the boys. The girls are beautiful.
He probably acts like a total idiot, but I don't have to marry him. I can just.
So Shen says, Katie, I told you yesterday that I knew Steve stalked you, which bullshit, but he wasn't responsible for all the criticism you received and you blocked me. Well, I appreciate that, because I'm certainly not. I came in the scene after other people. There's been people around longer than I have on the scene. I believe, I'm not mistaken, I believe Unveiling the Mask has been around longer than I have. I believe Annie has been along longer than I have. I believe, I know Leslie Bass has been longer than I have. There's a lot of people that have been around. So I don't see how all of a sudden, I became the face of evil when all I ever did was point out that somebody was being deceptive and somebody was making false allegations. And I had to be silenced for that, I guess, Again, if you agree with me, please help my GoFundMe. I appreciate it.
Enjoy the way he looks.
There's this huge misconception that people think that, like, I just hate on the Duggars, and I don't.
Give a crap about that.
If you actually watch my content, we really like a lot of the girls, and we are constantly cheering on Jill. Amy Duggar King is one of my friends.
There's something after this I wanted to get to.
We don't hate the Duggars.
Well, I've seen you grow in that aspect. And I think that's an important thing because, some people who have a lot of the negative stuff to say, they are looking back on older content before you got to know the family, before you were friends with Amy.
Yeah.
When and I've seen you grow in that aspect. So I will give you that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like I said,
Amy's a really sweet woman. So is her mom. I've gotten to know Deanna. They're like two of the kindest, most loving women I've ever met. They are the Christians. They don't care that I'm an atheist. We don't argue about anything. The way, they're conservative.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Amy's not super conservative. Amy's like pretty socially liberal.
Did correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Amy Duggar throw her under the bus recently going, I never invited her to stay with me. I don't have anything with this person. And from what I understand, blocked her. So that love friendship didn't last very long. Oops, dang it. One sec.
Dynamics, and you know how abusive the family.
I think the biggest thing is people are wondering if now that we kind of more concretely, and you of all people, other than those directly involved, know who has done what.
Okay, listen to that very carefully. Now that we know who has done what. Really? Well, you didn't know it because that wasn't the truth. I'm going to replay that again.
Of stuff,
Let me ask you this, Katie, because I think a lot of people. By the way, saying this.
Yeah.
And you don't have you don't have to answer me, but I think a lot of people are just with all the stuff that's been said. Now that we've had. And I know you haven't watched everything. I saw the chat. I know you'll go back and watch. I'm going to have to go back and watch because I don't even know I caught everything. But now that we've had this conversation, I think the biggest thing is people are wondering if now that we kind of more concretely, and you of all people, other than those directly involved, know who has done what. Yeah. If we can kind of relax a little bit and not feel like I think people kind of feel like there's a little bit of a witch hunt. I'm not saying you're conducting a witch hunt, okay?
Well, there's a lot of thing is this.
Well, there's a lot of people throwing out names to you. I've seen it.
Yeah. Yes, we have seen that, and people gone right along with it. Kay wasn't giving any pushback on any of this. Nothing.
Oh yeah, constantly.
Because she's hurt. Because she's been attacked for 2 years by the same people.
Right.
Because people are going real low. Because people are telling other things lies. I believe.
All right, well, I'm going to end it kind of there because I think you guys got the gist of it all. So I will spend about a few minutes answering any questions you might have. I know we went way longer than usual for a usual stream. My apologies for a 3-hour stream. I think it is worth it. I generally try to keep things down to 90 minutes or short, 2 hours. Because people don't usually sit through a 3-hour video. But if you do, this is worth sitting through a 3-hour video, I think. It's one of the few that's long and I think you'll get something out of. So I want to wish everybody happy and safe Thanksgiving. But if you got some questions, let me know real quick before I wrap it up. Please, again, consider putting my link out there on Facebook and Twitter for this particular video and for my GoFundMe. If you know people out there that want to support legal proceedings against Katie Joy, there you go. That's how you go about doing it. Because, like I said, I know I have a very strong case. And eventually things will come out one way or another. That was my promise to you. Eventually, things that I have that are not public yet, I give you my solemn word, will eventually come out. As long as I'm living. But if not, Cheshire can release everything. She can come get my computer and show you guys everything. It's fine. But any questions you have, like I said, I open it up to people to say, okay, well, hey, Steve, why don't you address this? And then when I do that, nobody says anything. So I want people to realize that when people are asking me questions on Twitter and I'm asking them, okay, what are you referring to? I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard this before, or that's already been addressed. Come talk to me when I'm live. I'll give you real-time opinions. I'll give you real-time feedback, but they don't seem to want to do that. So, yeah. So the Chief Fayline has all the documentation as well, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about. And so she can make it public eventually. I give her permission to do that after legal proceedings. So she has I think everything I have, like literally everything I have, access to. Nothing, not a single question. Look, I'm not going to stop streaming until somebody asks me at least one question. And no, Smitty, Happy Thanksgiving is not a question. Come on, I want to say that, look, people ask me questions. I want to say, like, look, I did a stream, and I took questions. I have them open for Q&A. And if somebody says, well, will you allow Kay Baxter on to talk about it? Sure. I'll let Waxy on if she wants to. Will that happen? Nope. They're not going to do that. Nope. Rose is like, sorry, I'm making dinner. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Rose. No, by all means. Yeah, I figure people just listen to this while they're cooking and stuff like that because, give them something to do. But no update on NSA's case. None. Yeah, I don't have anything of consequence other than I'm told Kyle is working with the attorneys to meet the purge conditions because he knows if he doesn't, he will be going back to jail. And the bond's would be increased. So there's a bond on him still, and I think that he knows he's in deep doo-doo. He has a lot of stuff going on, and he cannot fix a lot of things like he thinks, and so. Yeah, he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place if he doesn't comply at this point. Claire says, question, are we done yet? LMAO. Just joking, but you said you wanted to end. Yes, and that's a great question to end it on. We are done. We are. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please leave comments in the video description. I'll answer them as much as I can. DM me what you like. And once again, I do appreciate the people supporting me on Patreon. Membership, you get the cool little green name. So if you aren't a member, please consider that. And then if you want to have thanks on the GoFundMe, just anything you can support with the GoFundMe is appreciative, and I will thank you directly. And then every so often I'll do videos to thank those people live as well. And I really could use some help on the GoFundMe. I do appreciate it. All right. With that, I'm wrapping up. You guys have a great holiday, and I will see you probably on my next day off, which is Sunday, I believe. And with that, good night.